Hello, hello. I hope I have everything set up correctly here. Let me verify because instead of using direct taking up the whole screen, I'm in a window mode. So let me just make sure it's capturing it properly because I only want just the window, which is a shame though because like I can't even see my mouse. All right, well, whatever. Let me just check really quick. Sorry, I'm just making sure. Which is a shame though, because like. All right.
I can't even see my mouse.
Seems like it's gonna fit the whole window at least. So, I mean, I'm sorry you have to put up with the edges on there. I can't really seem to fit it. Well, maybe I can. Let me try it a little bit more. I just don't want to miss any part of the screen. That's all. Lock preview scaling, windowed project. Sorry, I'm just testing stuff here. Uh, no, I don't like that. I really need three monitors for this, don't I? That would help out a lot, honestly. All right, this will have to do, I guess. You're gonna have to deal with that whole YouTube bar on top thing. Either that, or I just say fuck it and do full screen and revert to direct capture instead of window capture. It won't let me like. It keeps the thing transform, reset transformation, and I want to fit to screen. Hold on one second. Nope, that ain't it. Nope, that's not it. I swear I know what I'm doing, guys. Wise. I don't fucked it up. I'm sorry. I should have had this done before. Disaster stream. I know what I'm doing, I swear. It's not too stretched out. All right, let me. Test.
Side Scrollers is brought to you by you. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com.
Skip ahead just to make sure.
To fix the identity theft.
Seems like everything's not too skewed too much. It's a little. Hold on, let me.
Else's account. I don't know whose, but that's not my account that was leaked.
All right, let me widen this a tiny bit. I think that'll make it, and then I can just fit that over that way. And that fucking was your account. Shut the fuck up. Oh my gosh. I don't know if it's any better doing it this way or not, but is what it is. There, that should be good. Who cares about the buttons? Those are going to go away once we actually get into it. Let me go back to the beginning. This is a lot more work than is necessary, honestly, because maybe I should have just done the whole full screen mode, but I have too many windows to monitor stuff. All right, so we should be good there. Should be good there. I hope everything is... Lordy, lordy. All right, I think we're good to go now, finally. I apologize. My OCD is on full display right now. Some of us care about the quality of our products. Let me pull this up a tiny bit. Nope, a little bit more to the right. There. Okay, I am sorry about this. All right, let's get started because I wasted enough of your time. I apologize, everyone.
Travis Key.
Hi, guys.
And brought to you by you, the G2 community at patreon.com.
The G2 community.
And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on planet Earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
Side Scrollers.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com. What's going on, everybody? Hey, I'm Stuttering Craig. Welcome to the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast.
Hi, Stuttering Craig. How are you
Side
today?
Scrollers. Big show today. Big show today, huh? Hey, everybody. Great to see you. Joining us, as always, not Travis Keys. Travis is going to be manning up on the chat today because we know the chat is going to be super busy. Blabs will also be hailing up on social media. So big ups to Blabs and big ups to Travis for doing that. But joining us, as always, Mr. Freeze, the greatest gamer in the room. It's Adam Krigler. Hello, Adam.
I'm never gonna live that Mr. Freeze down, but I kind of like it actually. I gotta learn all of Arnold's really cheesy puns from that movie, so I can drop those.
That was such a bad movie too.
Episodes.
I think that'd really endear you to all those who love the freezing aspect of you, for sure. So
I can't believe I'm still freezing. Anyway,
we have an additional guest too. It looks like in your lap.
Yeah, this is Osiris. He's hanging out. Say hi, buddy. He's like, no, I'm trying to chill. All right, he's
That
chilling.
is a pretty good name for a
Excellent.
cat,
Well,
honestly, too.
He's
Huh?
hanging.
Not that bad.
Before we get to our guest today, I want to let you guys know some things we have coming up on the show that I think are actually really, really important. And hopefully you guys will want to come back for. I know we got a lot of folks coming in today. Hopefully you guys want to hit the subscribe button and join us because we are a show. We go every Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. The whole idea of Side Scrollers is it's meant to be a breath of fresh air. It's meant to be a place where common sense reigns supreme. Something that is very hard to find in the
Something
gaming
Phil
industry.
does not like,
but we have some great
basically.
guests coming up. Obviously, today we have Darksydephil who'll be joining us very, very shortly.
The
We also have
Philip.
Mark the Cyborg joining us, and James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, will be joining us here in the next couple weeks as well. So make sure you guys once again hit the subscribe button, come join us, and be a part of our great little positive community we have going on
Should
over
be all
here.
set to go.
In addition, if you guys are listening to us over on Spotify or iHeartRadio, make sure you guys hit the 5-star rating and, of course, give us a nice comment over there. And if you guys are watching over here on YouTube, please hit the thumbs up. We'd greatly appreciate that.
Thumbs up,
As always, you can
dude.
support the show over at patreon.com/sidescrollers. We greatly appreciate that. You get access to our post show, which will be happening directly after today's stream. We'll continue as Adam, and we'll probably bring in Blabs and Travis, and we'll kind of talk about everything that goes on today. with that said, today's show is obviously a little bit different. Usually we kind of talk news and we talk about fun stuff. Today we're diving in deep with, I guess some would say the
You
most
could
hated
say
man
that.
on the internet. We are doing an interview format, and this is something that was not meant to happen when initially asked to bring Phil on the show, but it is quickly morphed into that. I've talked about how I have this degree in journalism that I got 20 years ago, and I haven't used it. And there's a reason why I didn't go into that field. It's because it sucks. And journalism is just trash bag of an industry. It's just a huge business, and we can talk about that all day long. But
okay, it has nothing to do with your abilities as a journalist.
Okay. Well, but I would like to point out that I am no journalist. I am no journalist.
Okay.
And I think that's the biggest thing. Is I have a degree, but I am not a journalist by any way, shape, and form. But with that said, we are going to do our best today. We know there's a lot of questions and comments and concerns, and we're going to touch them all because we've been assured that nothing is off the table today. And we're going to go for as long as we need to go for everyone to feel as good as you can possibly feel, which is next to impossible. Because
Can you imagine if we actually had like a second part to this interview?
JFK, and it still won't be good enough for some people. And you know what?
CIA.
Easy.
I mean, it was
Sorry.
the CIA, but
I'm good.
Established.
I'm good.
Established.
I'm like-
But with all that said, we're going to go today, and I'm looking forward to diving in deep. And so I guess with all that said, let's get into this. I'm excited to bring on DarksydePhil. Phil, how are you?
look at his eyes right there.
Phil, the camera's on now.
You guys,
Ah!
you guys actually did it. I'm on.
We
the
did
show.
what?
I'm on the
You
show.
did it.
I mean,
Wait,
you guys
is he
listen,
here?
listen. You guys,
I can't hear you.
Run.
I can't hear you.
Hello.
I'm just joking. I can hear you.
Oh,
You got, okay.
You
Nice.
guys have had a good run. You've been going for a month. I've watched every episode. It's a great show. However, you made the big mistake of having me on your show.
He is so low compared to them. Why is he so freaking low?
It's over.
You can't cancel something that doesn't care to be canceled.
This
and we
like
don't really care to be
audio
canceled. You can't,
balancing is pretty terrible.
We're
huh?
sponsored. We're sponsored by the people out there, so we're good. We're great.
Exactly.
Just like you,
Exactly.
right,
When
Phil?
you're not worrying about what sponsor you're going to freak out today because you accidentally said something in the wrong way, it's a lot of relief. You can just be honest with your audience, and that's something that I love about what I do on the internet.
Well, let's get into this, man. I'm excited to have you on. I think this is going to be a really telling, hour, 2 hours, whatever it may be, 3 hours,
12 hours.
six days, however long it may be. So I was told pretty much after we announced this that you were coming on the show. I was told that you should not come on. I was told not to interview you. Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, considering the fact that the name of the show is, possibly the most hated guy on the internet, I don't think it's rocket science. People don't like me for various different reasons. And, they come at me with so many accusations, so many crazy conspiracy theories. And I'm just a small time guy trying to make content on the internet and make a living doing it and loving the interaction I have with my little audience.
Oh my gosh. I'm such a small content creator,
any of the stuff that they
dude.
say about me, it's completely counterproductive. It doesn't help anything. It just exacerbates worse. So why have me on a show when people feel like all I'm going to do is not answer the questions you're going to ask me, not provide any additional information to things I've already said? People think I'm just going to be here for a fluff piece or something. Like you guys are going to kiss my butt for 2 hours or so. I don't think so. I think this is an opportunity for me to come on a show and be honest, transparent as much as I can. Again, I've already said this up front. I got to protect my family.
Oh my gosh, I gotta protect my family, guys. Something bad might happen if I don't do that.
The reason that I feel this interview will be different from what they're expecting is because I am going to be an open book. On my streams, I try to curtail the nonsense. My viewers are not there to hear me talk about my bankruptcy. They're not there to talk about accusations of spending $100,000 on a mobile game or how I groomed someone in the past. This is ridiculous.
Which you have.
They're just there to listen to gameplay.
Which you
They want to see me play
did.
a video game or talk about news or something. And every time it brings up, oh God, he's doing it again. He's entertaining the trolls. Why is he doing it? So now, this interview will be an opportunity for me to finally open up about all these topics. Nothing is off the table. I've said this to the guys here. Ask me anything. I will address every single thing anyone wants to ask me. I don't know how much I could talk about it. Again, there's some legal things going on and everything, but we'll talk. And this will be the focal point from now on. You want answers to all the drama? Watch Side Scrollers from March 16, 2023. Phil addressed it. And if you don't believe him, that's okay. It's everyone's subjective ability to judge whether or not someone's being truthful or not, right? So you can't make someone believe you, but at least we'll have one situation where I sat down, I answered every question that you threw at me, and even if you don't ask certain questions, I'm probably going to bring up topics that I know people want answers to, so that way it's all out there, and then we can just move on. I don't want to have this crap on my content anymore. I just want to move on with my community.
That's not going to ever happen,
Phil. I'm hoping that some closure will come out of this.
Closure,
So
yeah, some closure came out of it.
Nothing's
all right.
off the table today. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about, which is
we
great.
Want to talk about.
I don't. Okay. I feel good about that, and I think that's one of the things that
You
once again,
feel it
there's going to
now,
be things
Mr.
that we're going
Krabs?
to talk about that I feel is, as long as you're honest, and we're going to push you on things, Phil. You need to understand that we're going to push you, and I think, you know, the one thing I said over and over again is I feel that I'm a fair interviewer to myself, fair interview to the person I'm interviewing, and fair to the audience, and that's one thing to keep in mind as we go along here. So, I guess
Could I very briefly just make one statement before we begin? I want to publicly apologize to you guys, to your other hosts, to the G2s, and anyone else who likes side scrollers, because for the past 2 weeks, you guys have seen your content derailed because of me. I never intended for that. I kind of was worried it would happen, and it happened. I don't control
And it happened.
this
I
black
don't,
cloud that follows me around the internet as much as I try, but I still feel bad about it. It's not your fault that because you
It's
decided to have me on your show as a regular guest, that now you had to put up with 2 weeks of drama and nonsense. I'm hoping this, again, will put some closure to it as well. It's not just about me. It's about you guys also being able to say, okay, we did it. We had the interview, and can we get back to normality? I love your show. I am a long-time fan of Screw Attack. I used to watch
Oh my God. Kiss their ass.
In the 2000s, before YouTube was even prominent.
The 2000s.
I've watched every episode of your show since you rebooted it. I'm so upset that this has become about me somehow, and I'm done with it. Like, that's why I want to apologize to everyone. Never intended, and I hope that we can move on from it today.
So, Phil, you just killed our show by giving us an endorsement. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Oh, you're horrible. You guys suck. I hate you.
Oh my God.
Oh, you're gonna ask me terrible questions today. I really hate you guys.
All right. Well, let's get into some of these terrible questions. And I think this is something that I've heard. The questions that I'm going to ask today, they're a good mix of questions that have been on the internet. They've been questions that I want to know. There's questions that some of your biggest detractors have asked me to ask you. So they're, and I think that's important. I want to get all sides of this. So I think a great starting point for here is when you're streaming, Phil, who is streaming? Is it Phil or Darksydephil?
Whew.
I will proceed to never answer this question.
It depends on what I'm streaming. It also depends on what time.
It depends. I am a character, but I'm not a character, and I'm authentic, but I'm not authentic.
It's funny to over dramatize something that's going on. I have a segment.
That's not what he's asking.
And yells at Cloud, where I really ham it up if it's a dumb topic I'm talking about, and I over dramatize.
Oh, you're a dumb topic, all right.
Playing a game that really is. I'm dying a lot, or I'm playing an online fighting game. I'll emphasize
online
the fact that, it's unfair, it's
combos.
bullshit, I'll always ham it up. But that's kind of my shtick. That's always been kind of my shtick, and I think my actual fans know that. But the internet wants to pretend like otherwise, as if you have never watched my content over the past 15 years that I've been a content creator on the internet. You've seen
there it
is. Kind of
is.
the shtick that I do in certain situations. But
he's gonna mention his whole 15-year content creation for like the whole fucking time.
And when I started on YouTube way back when, it was all about being a character. It was about over exaggerating. It was about being dramatic. It was about saying the risque thing that's going to get people talking. What did Darksydephil say in his playthrough today? Are you kidding me? I can't believe he said that. But what happens is over time things change, and there was really,
and I refuse to change.
How can I say, almost like an epiphany.
Phil never changes.
In 2017, a lot of different things changed in my life. I had a lot of things that kind of rebooted. And business-wise,
15 years. If I wasn't so lazy, I would do a 15-year calendar for every time he said 15 years. But
online streamer. And when I became an interactive online streamer,
that's already been done before.
Wow, wait a minute. I've been doing this wrong the whole time because, like, for 8+ years, I've just been talking to a camera and pretending like I'm the only one in the room. I have an audience live watching me. What the hell am I doing? I'm ignoring them. And once I started having an interactive conversation with my
Interactive if they pay you
became so
money.
much better, this social experience of having
Social
meaningful
experience.
conversations, seeing their live reactions to things I'm doing on
This is
stream.
the only social
And so
experience he
I
ever
realized
gets.
I don't have to be a character anymore. I could just be me. I could just talk with these people and be honest about my feelings about games or whatever. And again, yes, every once in a while there's an exaggeration. Absolutely. But that's part of the fun of it all. You know, we're not all just here to be Mr. Serious all day. How boring would that be? But at the same time, yeah, today I would say I'm a lot more laid back of a person, and I'm a lot more honest and transparent with my audience, with the discussions.
Lies.
Yes, there's obviously everyone wants to every once in a while ham it up and be a cartoon character, joke a little bit to get a little laugh or a little rise. But for the most part, I would say what you see today in my content is more authentic than it used to be.
So DarksydePhil is your hamming it up.
Darksydephil.
Right now you're just Phil.
Yes and no. Again,
He won't answer that
What is
question.
it?
He refuses to
like-
answer it.
Like what does it when you say there are times that I'm over the top? Give me an example of what that means. What does it mean when you say, well, I'm over the top, and why would you if the internet has changed, right? There was a point. You are correct in saying that back in the early 2000s, into the, when you kind of rose to prominence, there was, you took your personality and you put in a little, it would exponentially make it a little more over the top. But the internet has changed to authenticity. People want to get to know, and I don't disagree with you there. But when you mix up, and it's almost like you're sending mixed signals to your audience, and most people, they haven't watched you for 15 years. The idea of saying like, hey, I've been on the
Because
internet
if you
for 15
watched him
years, you should
for
know-
all of 15
you should know
years,
how
you'd
I
be a
act. But
detractor by now.
reality
That's
is
why.
that most people see you through clips, through Twitter or YouTube, and they don't know you. So regardless of how long you've been on the internet, I mean, I've been doing this forever, and the vast majority of people watching right now have no idea who I am. So you treat every viewer like a potential new viewer. So I don't know, kind of walk me through that, because I do think that's kind of, like, provide me with an example of what DSP is versus Phil.
Sure. Right now I'm playing a game. It's called Wolong Fallen Dynasty. All right. It's one of these games made by Team Ninja, not FromSoft, but it's very much meant to be like a From Software style game, like Dark Souls or Bloodborne or Elden Ring. It's ultra challenging.
Did he actually finish that game, or did he rage quit? I can't actually remember.
Opinion, this is my opinion. It's not.
Not that it matters. He usually rage quits a lot.
I love this game. Okay, I don't like it. I think that it's a cheap knockoff. I feel like it's very wonky. It's not polished. I will say those things in my content, but in the heat of the moment, if I'm running through a stage and I get instant kill, cheap death, I freak out. Oh, you son of a bitch! This game sucks ass. It's the worst game ever. The game.
So all the times when you were like literally calling for the deaths of game devs, that wasn't it? Is that what you're saying?
That I died. People don't really tune in for that. In fact, the reason people are watching me play that game is because they want to see that over-the-top reaction.
Which I don't provide anymore.
I don't hate the game. I don't hate the game devs.
Yes, you do.
They tried to make a good game. I think it's decent. I don't think it's great.
Oh my gosh.
You'll go over the top every once in a while. Now, just like
but is that just something that Phil would do also?
Right.
Well, Phil would do that, but Phil wouldn't be like for example.
I can't provide an actual answer to this question.
Do you really think that I'm that upset about it? It's a game. It's a big deal.
Yes, you do get legitimately upset about it.
I allow that to flow freely. A lot of people put a filter over what they say and do when they put out their content. Why? Because they're trying to be marketable, right? They're trying to say, I want that sponsor. I want that opportunity. I have never.
So they're trying to be successful as a streamer, is what you're saying.
Because they don't want truthful reactions. They want Mr. Marketable, Mr. Smiley. And when I say things like,
he really thinks the fact that he's supposedly so honest and truthful is like somehow better than like getting sponsorships,
but Phil,
or that it's more
hold on.
profitable somehow.
Do you think that do you think that those game companies are like looking to establish a relationship with like they're not? I mean, the reality is that these companies are looking for streamers who
I would argue there's a point in the view where like he realizes he's kind of going downhill,
and
that's right.
but it takes him a while.
What whether it's you saying or DSP saying it.
Yeah, it still does, but no, yeah, it's changed
don't-
and it's all a character. So.
I think that if people
But it's
were
not a character,
watching
but it
to
is.
see those over the top
Like,
reactions, I think they were watching for that a decade ago, and I really mean that, right? Like so look, I had a character named Evil Craig, right? And Evil Craig was meant to be the essence of just the internet troll, right? I did it for 10 episodes, 12 episodes, whatever it may be. And I stopped doing it
he
because
says
I
that, and
realized
he's not joking or
that
when he's saying stuff like that either. He's legitimately
of
like
people that
saying
were
shit like that at
negative
the time.
and trolls, right? And it's funny. It was funny, and it was so silly. But by you starting with the idea of saying like, look, I'm going to overreact big. I think there's two prongs to this question. Number one, if people were really watching to see your over the top reactions, don't you think they'd be making clips of that instead of other clips that they were making, and those would be going viral? And number two, if you're really not enjoying the game, why
yeah,
play
like
it?
he's being scolded,
play it in
kind
the
of. You know
first
what I mean?
place?
It's like that's the look he has the whole time.
But start with number one though. Start with number one. Like, why if people were watching to see your over the top angry reactions, don't you think they'd be clipping those as opposed to clipping other things?
In truth, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what they clip because.
Oh yes, you fucking do. Come on, Phil. You fucking know.
From my viewers or in a chat or whatever.
I don't watch anything,
No,
although I know
understand
who
what you're
the
saying, totally.
one detractor
case in
was
point
that
with
was a
Roll-On.
detractor of
There's
LTG,
totally
who's
some people
also a
who
detractor
are
of
turned
you,
off by this
and I
playthrough,
watch his
and they're
stuff.
like, I don't want to watch Phil play it because he's going to get angry and he's going to turn into this rage ball that we don't like watching.
But you
We
don't
like
even
seeing
do
real
that
Phil.
anymore,
At the same
Phil.
time, there are
You're so
people, I've told my
neutered
audience,
in
I
your
don't like this
content
game,
compared
I
to
would like
what you
move on.
were.
This kind of does
So
meld
it's
into
not
the
even
second
like
half of your
people
question as
watch you
well.
for your
I've been
vitriol
very
anymore.
transparent with my audience about this game. So I don't like it. I feel like if I'm going to play a FromSoft game, why don't we just do
Because
the
it
second one
turned
of Elden
from
Ring, a
like
new game plus
originally
one? And a lot of
his
people were
older
down for that.
content
And I
was
like,
like
no, Phil,
legitimate
we like
rage, and
seeing
that
you rage. This has
sort
been
of
a
could
part of your
be
shtick for 15
entertaining to
years.
some
This is a
people,
lot of the
right?
reason why we tune in.
But
I'm seeing
now
more
it's just
attendance
bitching and
on my
whining and
Wolong
complaining and
streams, and I'm
excuses
getting
all the
more,
time. And it's
honestly,
like, dude,
more support on my Wolong streams because they want to see that rage come out of me, as opposed
which
to me
doesn't
playing a bunch of games
happen.
where I'm more laid back and relaxed and chill.
Oh, fucking chill
I have a
games,
bunch of those
Jesus
in my
Christ.
rotation.
Even the chill games aren't chill because you're still using those to bitch about Tevin or whoever
A
else.
different group of people. That really, I feel, is one of the reasons why I'm still here 15 years later. I have different
Oh my
audiences.
gosh.
I have one audience that'll come and watch me be the real Phil, the relaxed Phil.
Nope,
I just
you
sit
have
back,
the
I'm
same
chilling, playing the game.
audience
I'm not going to rage.
of
The game's
and
chill, I don't have to really do
only a
challenges,
few
right?
handful
I'm
of
playing
contributors,
a
and they're
Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion right now.
all
That's
leaving
exactly
you
what that playthrough
eventually.
is. It's relaxing, right? But then when I play Wolong, now it's time for that old darksydephil Phil to come back out, and now a whole new audience shows up.
Wolong.
It's funny because you'll watch one of my streams, you'll say, well, Phil gets around 200 to 400 viewers a stream, okay? But in reality, when you look at my metrics on YouTube or my analytics, actually, those are like thousands.
Yeah,
of
I've said
different
it
people.
like I've
One
never
stream
been a
gets
fan of
200
Phil.
viewers, the
I've
next stream gets
never been a
300.
fan,
Those are
right? And I
500
get that people were a
Because
fan
people are coming for
because
different
I
kinds of
can
content. When
see
you've been
that,
around
like
as
at
long
least
as me, you
back
realize you get
then,
people from all over the
I
world
could
and for
see
different reasons.
why people were a fan of
you know,
his
I would
back
But are they
then.
sticking?
Because like
Are they
in
staying
a
though?
way, he was
Because-
like
because,
legitimately
if
entertaining.
you have
You know,
500
back
people
then.
come in and they're just kind of
No,
coming
not
out,
anymore.
that's
Not
actually
for a
bad
long
for the
fucking
algorithm.
time,
That's
though.
bad. You want people to stay and subscribe, and you know, you have these new people coming in because they want to see a new game, not necessarily because they want to see you, right? They're interested in the game, not necessarily.
And
you if you're
even
playing a game
that
that's
is waning
topical
because
or
even
new
now
or
he doesn't
something
even
along those
play
lines.
new games most of the time anyway.
Again, yes and no. I would say back in the day,
It's
that
like,
was the
well,
case,
this
but
game's
new
too
releases
long.
are
I can't
giant
play this
ones,
game
but
anymore.
because
Skip.
I actually used to have, but DSPGaming, which is my gaming channel.
I'm already
used to be
playing
one
too
of the
many
more
games. I
prominent
can't play
gaming
this.
channels for Let's Players on YouTube over a
So
decade
he'll
ago.
postpone
I
and
was
not
in the
play that
algorithm.
new
I
game.
play a new game.
And then like
I would
4
see
or
my
5 months
attention
later,
double
he'll
triple
try to
just
play
on
it,
one
and he was
game.
like,
I
"Why
don't
does
get
no
that
one
anymore.
want to play
You know, it's
want to
been-
watch me play this
some of the
game?"
things we'll probably talk about
Because they
today.
already watched
One of the
someone else
reasons
play it
that
when it
why
first
that's
came
happening.
out.
Trolling
wanted you to
activities,
watch you
false
play it
copyright
when it
strikes,
first
which
came
kick my
out.
channel out of the algorithm. So today it doesn't really
Sorry,
matter
let
what
me
I
know
play,
if I'm being
honestly.
too
I mean, yes,
loud.
I'll play a new game and I'll get a little bit of a spike.
Or if
But as for
the
audience
video's too
retention,
low.
it really depends on what I'm playing and who's there for what. There's some people that don't care what I play. I could sit here and play.
Right,
no
you
game
got your
today.
hardcore. You got your hardcore. You can play Tiddlywinks and people will show up, right?
Exactly.
Which
But
he
I-
did
I
on
will get an
stream.
increase when I play a rage-inducing game or a multiplayer game where you know there's going to be
No
an
one's
element of
showing up to
challenge
see
where I
you
can
rage
really
anymore,
fear
though,
or
Phil.
I
No
can
one.
really fail miserably against people online in a competitive setting. People like that, and that's the variety that I bring in. But yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
what
it's
you're
just a
saying. It would be
small
great if
handful
maybe
of
I was
his
just
actual
one
fans.
kind of content, but I found in the 15 years playing kind of both sides, it gets you different audiences, and it's worked for me. At least that's what I feel is one of the keys to my longevity is tomorrow, if they never made another FromSoft game, I'd be okay because I still play everything else.
I would not be okay with that.
Oh, I wouldn't be okay with that either. I love those games too. As much as I rage at them,
Yeah,
and I'll be
bullshit.
angry in the moment, I absolutely appreciate
I call
them for what they are.
X'd out on that
Clearly, you
shit.
just need to get good. I'm just,
Yep.
Exactly. I'm a terrible player. Everyone knows this.
Well,
Yep.
let's talk about something real quick. So you early
Rare
on had
moment
this
of truth
perception
there.
of the king of hate. That was something that you
Still
marketed,
is.
you
He's
created.
never
or
gonna get away
whatever,
from
right?
that.
Whatever it is, that was your thing. The king of hate. You had the
That
kingofhate.com
nickname,
and all
whatever
that
you want to
stuff.
call it.
And
That's his
now you
moniker
have-
from
now
now
you're
on
Phil,
till the end
right?
of his
But
life.
do you feel that
And
that
it's
still
because
follows
of
you
this
around, this idea
interview
of
that he
built around,
dropped
like,
that
look,
moniker.
James Rolfe, angry video game nerd. He's clearly
Like
a
Brittany
character. People
Gates has
know
been
that there's the
telling
angry
him
video
for
game nerd,
years,
and then
like
there's
not
the
years,
character.
but
your
a long
perception
ass
is
fucking
that
time
there's this,
that he
there's
needs
this
to rebrand himself
hate
and get
around
rid
you,
of the
this
king of
negativity
hate.
around you, right?
And
Do you
it
think
took
that
him
that
up
has
until
followed you
this
to the point to
interview
where,
for him to actually drop that
you know,
moniker.
regardless of if they're coming to watch
Or try
you,
to.
Phil or DSP,
He's never gonna fully
that,
get rid of it, but he's gonna.
that
He's
is
trying.
been a negative detractor for you. This is the whole hate moniker.
Absolutely.
It
and
never
of course,
meant it
I
like
guess
that
this would
though.
be a good time to
But you
talk
could
about what the
see,
moniker means, because a lot of
like
people
a
think
normal
the king
person
of
with
hate
common
means,
sense
oh,
could
that
see
means
how
he's
that could
just
come
a
off as
person
wrong to
towards
people though.
games and game developers and everything else. He's just going to rage on his stream and just hate everyone, and that's never what it was. Anyone who does 5 seconds of research to the what does the king of hate
But
mean?
no
I've
one's
answered
gonna
this
do
question
5
so many
seconds of
times in
research.
15
What are they
years,
gonna
and I'm not
do?
afraid, but no one
Watch
wants
your
to. The
long
answer-
ass
the answer is,
streams? No one's gonna
I used
have
to be a
time to
competitive
do
Street
that
Fighter player
just to get a
back in the
beat on
2000s.
what a person is
And
like or is.
Back then, it
They're
was
gonna
a
hear
really
that
weird
name.
situation.
They're gonna assume
Street
you're a
Fighter
hateful
wasn't big like it
person
is today.
because they're
Street Fighter
probably
was
gonna
on
see
the
clips
downturn. There
of
were
you
no new
being a
fighting games
bigot
out.
or a
So the
raging
way to get
asshole
attention on the competitive Street
and
Fighter
assume that's
community was
you
building up
because it is you.
drama. So
Right.
I would go online and I would be the biggest
Whatever.
internet troll to everyone in the Street Fighter community. I would make fun of them. I would just destroy
Still
them.
does.
And everyone
Okay,
knew
so
Phil's like the biggest internet
let's
troll.
fast forward, right? This has been well established. This is a decade ago. Let's talk about today, though. Like, do you feel
Okay.
that this has followed you around? Do you feel that people do you think that the King of Hate moniker is still relevant?
Today it is not. It was because when I started, the meaning behind it is when people hate on you, you don't use that to become a victim. You don't use
It's like
that to
he's
fall
trying to
into
be
a
safe
ball
for
and hide
work.
in your
He's
corner
trying
and
to
talk
be
to
more
people, "People don't like
marketable,
me anymore,
right?
so I quit."
But it's not
Instead, you
working
use that
because
as a
his
way
mask
to
falls
motivate
off
yourself to do
constantly.
better. For
He
example,
like
when
he has
people
no
say,
super. He
"You're
can't even
never
super
gonna
glue
beat
it to
this
his
game
face.
'cause it's so
His
tough."
mask is always falling
you say, "I
off,
can't do it,
and
you
he'll
can't do it, I'm
randomly
a bad
say a
gamer. I'm
hateful
gonna beat that
slur
game just 'cause
or
you said
go
I
off
couldn't,"
on a tirade or
You
anything
say,
like
I'm a bad
that.
content creator. I'm this. I'm gonna fail. No. I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna use that hate around me, and I'm gonna be the king of it. I'm gonna motivate myself with all that hate to be a successful person. This is a mantra I've used in my entire life to continue on and be successful. And that's why I have so many haters on the internet. I use that to fuel myself every day to come back and say, no, I'm going to put out a great, meaningful stream.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being
on the internet about
like
but it follows me. You're absolutely right, because people
a controversial
say, the king of hate is
streamer
not
who
that Phil
speaks
owns
their
the hate
mind
against
and
him
is super
and motivates
honest
himself to
if
say,
you're
"He's a
actually
hateful
doing
person.
that.
Take a look at
But
that
he
thing
he
said 10,
fences it
15
so
years ago,
fucking hard.
that
He has
racial
no
joke he made,
real
that
opinions of his
ridiculous
own.
sexual comment he made. That's what the king of hate is. And then they'll say, look, he used to have a website, the king of
And you can't be both.
And then they'll reference that stuff and say that I'm a bigot, or
You
I'm,
are a
I'm
fucking
racist,
bigot.
or I'm a sexist.
I
they say
have
to
a
this day,
video
they're-
on my
they're
channel
probably saying it right
showing
now in chat.
so many occurrences of you
Well-
being a fucking
Well, then
bigot, Phil.
let's. I wasn't planning on
a
talking to this
racist,
till later.
hateful
Yeah, go ahead,
slurs,
Adam.
all
When
that.
you climb to the top of like the hate mountain and claim to be the king of hate, don't you think it's almost inviting people?
That
to
would be
try
a
to
good
take you
channel
down?
name, Hate Mountain.
You said that you made that your thing in the Street Fighter world, and then
Hey
as
guys,
time
Hate
went
Mountain
on in
here.
the YouTube realm, that's what you were, I guess, made your position on the internet known. You're the king of hate. So like, you can almost expect people to come back at you and try to use that same kind of vibe. And I've seen plenty of clips of random shit throughout the past couple weeks, because I didn't know who you were, right? So I'm still kind of new to this YouTube realm. And
No, of course. Anyone who brings up that she's black, we'll see it in here. But like, because she's African American, it's like, that didn't occur to me at all.
Right? So what
Bullshit.
I've seen is you kind of letting it get.
He's
the
trying
best
to
of you
mitigate
in
it
some
so
cases,
bad, and it
where
was
you're
not
letting
working.
that almost get under your skin, where I mean, if you want to be that person, on the
I
internet, you
honestly
kinda have
do
to be able
think
to
he
take it as
really
well.
is. Well, I don't know.
I just wanted to point that out. You know, it's almost like you kind of asked
I-
for it. By
I'm more
being the
leaning on
king
the
of
side
hate
that he really
and
is
making
that
that your
dumb
thing. It kind of was
or
like, all right, well,
slow. He's
if I'm gonna
definitely
dish
on the
it, I gotta be able
spectrum.
to take it as well.
And the fact that he has
I
no social
100%
interaction
agree
with
with that.
people anymore
Today.
and has it for a very
I've been
long
on YouTube
time.
for 15 years, and
The only
when I
people he
started on
really
YouTube,
talks to is Cat,
there
if
were
then,
no
because
successful
we don't know how
Let's Players
close their
moving forward,
relationship
doing
is.
it the way
Obviously,
that
it doesn't seem
I
like
ended
it's
up
that
doing.
close.
I'm almost kind of like a history lesson.
And
Look at what Phil has
and
done,
talking,
and don't do it. Right? Look at all the mistakes Phil just made in the last 15 years. And if you want to be someone who makes gameplay content on YouTube, don't do what that guy did, because he screwed up. You know, when I started 15 years ago,
and talking online to his
I was
chat
like, I'm
does
just gonna
not
roll what I
count.
do in Street Fighter. It worked there. Why not do it on YouTube? I wasn't doing it for a living. It was my hobby. I had a 9-to-5 job, and this was something I came home and did 2-3 hours a night. I would pump out some
Sorry.
gameplay. I never took it seriously. I never thought it would be my job or anything. So I was the king of hey. I just rolled that moniker over to YouTube. Now, fast forward 2.5 years after I started on YouTube, I lose my job. Oh crap! What am I going to do? Can I monetize my YouTube presence? I guess I can. But now I'm the king of hate. Everyone knows me as the king of hate. For 2.5 years, this is my shtick. This is my moniker. What do? You know, how do you erase?
Yeah, and
the
I remember, I
past
think it was like,
when you've
what,
already established?
2016, 2017? Those years were
It's
so
been rough.
bad
It's been
for
rough.
him. Like,
I'll tell you this: 2 years ago,
everything was going on with him. It was bad.
I had a revelation. I was like, I have to move on from my past in any way that I can. I have to try to get rid of this moniker. This is something that people were actively using to weaponize against me. They were going to businesses that I was associated with and telling them, you have a bigot on your website. Do you know that? Look at all these things that he did. And they would link to things, little one-off jokes from 15 years ago.
Right.
Nope, that's wrong.
And they would say, he's the king of hate.
There was
I have to
modern
stop it. I have to go to the
examples,
website,
Phil. Plenty of
rebrand myself,
examples
and now
modernly.
That's why I do not live by that mantra anymore. I don't even mention it. You know,
So,
it's a them
but what have
over
you
here.
done? What have you done, Phil, to change the perception of that? What have
Nothing.
have you changed the look of your streams?
Nope.
Have you changed your production value? Did you
Nope.
take a break? Did you
My
say,
fans
Look,
did
I'm
for
leaving
me,
and I'm
but I
gonna
didn't
come
do it.
back, But I need time to kind of rethink this. Like, did you? Because you're still going under the. It's the same, still the same channel, still DSP, still darksydephil. What have you done to change the perception
Slim
of that?
Dark
I mean,
Sea.
it's been a consistent line the entire time
You're right.
of Phil. So what have you done to change
Phil,
that? 'Cause
Phil,
it sounds
Phil,
like you're
Phil.
saying, well, you know, woe is me, but
Phil
it
Nye
ultimately
the
comes down to
dented
your
guy.
actions.
Yeah, and if you were to watch my content, you know, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, hell, 2 years ago, and you were to watch my content today,
Hell,
you would
couple
see
days
the
ago.
difference. Like, for example,
There's no
look how
difference,
everything
Phil.
looks behind me right now, right? Up until just 6 months ago, I still looked like shit.
Still
admit that,
does.
You know, but it's because I don't have the know-how. I don't, I'm,
Oh, but
I'm very much
don't forget,
crowdfunding
guys. It looks so
content.
much better than
YouTubers
LTG's
today who
background, right?
contribute to everything. And in this last year and a half, there's been kind of a reinvigoration. Let's change everything I'm doing. Let me listen to feedback. Just in the last year, I started doing React content. I was the biggest critic of React content. I crapped on it constantly, saying it was terrible content. It's the lowest form of
The
content
cops
on
find
internet.
him in a room with a
And
dead
then
body with a
I started
knife
listening
in
to
the
my
dead
viewers.
body
Phil, why
with
are
his
you so ignorant
fingerprints
about
all
this
over.
stuff? You gotta
I didn't
start
do
to
that.
open
That
up and
wasn't
be
me.
more
I swear, I just walked
laid-back
in
guy about all
here.
this crap.
I
You
tried
don't
to
wanna be
pull
the
the
king of
knife
hate.
out, guys. You gotta
listen. And I
believe
started
me.
listening. I started doing different kinds of content. I changed
He even
myself.
has a
I'm
motive
trying
and all this
to
stuff.
change
You're
the
like,
perception
no,
around me.
honest.
But the problem is, it wouldn't matter if I went away for 2 months and rebooted my channel and renamed it or whatever. There is such an overwhelming stigma. against
Oh,
me
we
on
got the victim segment.
that it wouldn't work.
Well,
These
this whole
trolls
thing, he
would
tries to
just
play the
follow
victim,
me
though.
No matter where I go, what I do, no matter how much I change.
Yeah,
They don't
no,
wanna
he's not.
believe it or pretend like the change hasn't happened.
And he
They-
was
they keep
so
rolling on
desperate
with
for
their
a fight with
hate train.
LTG.
You know,
So
it sucks.
desperate.
I would love to do a
It
full
was
reboot and redo
pathetic.
DSPGaming. It wouldn't matter. Within
And
3 days, a
obviously,
day,
rightly
that's
so,
DSPGaming.
LTG didn't
Don't
want
be
anything to
fooled.
fucking
It's the
do with
same
him.
guy. You know, so
Well,
I have tried
But
to change
after,
and do
like,
better things,
what was it, a
make
week
more
before
laid-back
that whole
content.
thing
If you watch my
happened,
content today,
Stutter and
way
Craig,
less
like,
of that
tried to
rage
reach
kind of
out for him to
way
do,
more chill content, interactive
like
stuff,
a
meaningful
to
content for my
10
viewers, I feel.
Street Fighter
The
6
stigma
grudge
remains.
match thing.
Well, let's talk
And,
about
like,
something real quick. That can
He
add to that
refused it
stigma,
outright. He's
right?
like, no, I don't want to do that,
and I
dude.
think
Like,
this is
leave me the
this is
fuck
important. You said the
alone.
light bulb went off.
He doesn't
You know,
get
about
that.
a
Like,
year ago, you gotta
doesn't
change,
matter.
You changed your
that
background and stuff.
It doesn't matter that Stutter and Craig is not a Street Fighter player or not, like people would show up for that. That's kind of the whole thing. There's this grudge match because obviously Phil feels jaded about the whole interview that we're watching right now and everything like that. So obviously people on both sides, detractors from both of them, everyone would show up to watch that, but he's too stupid to get that.
But I want to bring up, like, there's still jokes that are made that that don't necessarily, like, they don't fit today. And I want to play one for you really quick and just kind of get your reaction to this. Okay, so this is
Unfortunately,
so
he
you know,
is
you know
like
where
he
this is
does
going.
not.
I want to watch this so we all understand what's going on here.
I don't know if like he had, like was eating grass as a kid and accidentally ate a few 4-leaf clovers or something.
All right,
but
boys,
yeah,
prepare the slave trade. We're
he has
selling it right
he
off
has
the
like
top.
so much luck, and it's insane that nothing really seems to stick to him or anything.
You know how much I love you, right?
All the way to the moon.
Scared you just look up at the sky and remember that, okay?
Okay.
Put the kid in the vehicle. Stay with her. Right, she's too valuable to escape. She's worth lots of money.
Jesus Christ,
That's
Okay.
fucked up.
it is fucked
Yeah.
up.
So what's going on there, man? Like, let's talk about that. Like, how does that?
This
when
wasn't
you see
years
that-
and years ago.
When you see that, how does that make you feel? What are you thinking? Do you regret that, saying that? Like, is that edgy
Sure.
humor?
Well, first of all, I have an honest question for you guys. You've now seen it. I don't know if Adam has ever seen that clip before. Okay.
No, I
Is that
haven't.
the first time? Okay. What do you think the joke was there? I'm just curious.
That you're
What do you
being a
think that was
racist
trying
piece
to
of
get at?
shit because you
They
were
were
being a
selling that
racist
girl
piece of shit.
To the slave trade.
Okay.
That's what it sounded like, and that's pretty fucked up.
Okay. Now, from what reference do you think?
Anyone's
I'll-
reference, anyone who
Okay,
sees
I'll-
that
I'll-
is
I'll
gonna
approach
draw
it from
that.
The detractor perspective. Okay. From the detractor perspective.
No,
the
I want to
joke-
hear your perspective of what
Yeah.
you meant.
Right?
Okay,
Yeah.
great. We'll do both.
It's
We'll do both.
pretty obvious what the detractors mean. Like for me,
Exactly.
that would have put me on the detractor side because it sounds like you were
Mhm.
making a joke about selling that little girl to the slave trade. How is it not that? Like, what did you mean?
Oh no,
that
that's absolutely that's the joke. But there's a difference between saying that's
Oh.
okay and it's funny or the ridiculousness of the situation. See, you just saw that clip completely out of context, correct? You don't know what's going on in the game right there.
Okay, explain the context then.
That sheriff is a corrupt sheriff. He is actually orchestrating a situation to try to murder people inside a building to protect his secrets.
But
He's
it was
like a
taken
dark
out of
guy who controls the
context.
whole town,
And in order
and
to
no one knows
understand
it.
this, you would have to
Everything's
watch my
down, the sheriff's a
entire
clean guy.
Let's Play of the
So
game.
this is
So
being
why don't
revealed
you go
throughout
watch the
plot.
whole
These are
Let's
the
Play,
scumbags,
and
right?
then you can
So
judge the joke.
is this
And
guy's
it'll
such
still
a
be
scumbag.
racist.
He's saying to the dad, I'm going to save your daughter. Give me your daughter. Let's take him in and rescue her. But in reality, he's such a scumbag, he'd probably do something like that. He'd probably, traffic people. That's the joke. Now, is it a joke that's acceptable by today's standards? By 80% of people, probably not. I agree with you.
Do you think that's a joke? Like, do you think that's a joke acceptable by any standards?
Mhm.
I don't.
Even a decade ago, 2
Right.
decades ago, 3 decades
Like,
ago.
And
I
and
think-
it's like, I just want to hear your thoughts on that, because I think there's edgy content, then there's inappropriate content, and we've all been guilty of edgy content before, so.
I think it's dark humor. It's definitely skirting the risque. Okay, not to say that I've heard much worse, obviously, from other people, but that doesn't make it okay for me to do it. I know that.
I've heard much worse, like from Nazis and
there's-
stuff.
especially with what's following you around, your reputation.
Yeah,
right?
maybe
think
you
that
should
if
bite your tongue a
if the
little
light
bit if so
truly
many
went
people are
off
watching.
in your head to say, like, I gotta change, don't you think it would be like,
If he has
well, maybe I should bite
if he
my
has such a spotlight on himself of all these people hate watching him, you would think maybe he would temper his tongue a little bit. So he's like, hey, maybe I should think before I just blurt out this horribly racist fucking thing or something. No, can't do that.
my tongue on this one. I may be thinking it, but how about I bite my tongue on this?
Yes, I 100% agree with you, and it's a working process.
It's a
something
work-
that has to happen.
It's a
naturally
work in
over time.
process. I'm only
Be a
41
successful
years
person.
old. Give me another
again,
20
I
years
was
or
someone who
something.
did
I'm
it for
sure I'll
15 years
get it.
Back in the day, that's what
Like
people came to
he's
watch.
not even gonna live
That's the
another 20
content they
years,
wanted
but
from me. That's what got me popular on YouTube. That kind of ridiculous, unacceptable, over the top, dark humor joke.
unacceptable.
Okay? Today, it's not acceptable. I know that. But the thing is, those jokes still click in
Never
my head.
was.
I absolutely should have not done that joke. I will tell you that right now. 1,000,000%.
Absolutely, my
You know,
voice
but
squeaks.
it's a working process. And here's where you have to have some kind of an air of fairness, or at least
Nope.
you have to see the big picture.
Please give me
Alright?
another
I've
chance,
been
even
doing
though
this
I've
for
had a
15
million
years.
of.
I've been doing
Oh,
it full
we
time
gotta
for a
pull
job
that
since
shit out.
2011. I do it 6 days a week full time. 6 days.
Yeah,
a week.
I've been doing it for
full-time
15
since,
years, so you gotta cut me all
I
the
have
breaks
over
in the world, guys.
100,000 videos on the internet. Okay, people will always find something that moment of weakness, that stupid thing that I said. I know, stupid Phil. Why the hell did I make that joke? But once it's out there, it's out there, and all you can do is apologize for it, say you're gonna do better, and try not to do it, and move on. Now, there's a reason why I'm on this show today. Okay, this is what.
Because you're a piece of shit. No, talk about my wife. Exactly. It's because, like, he should just embrace that side of him. Like, I've said this before. I know more other people have said this before. Like, he should just go to, like, what are the word? Like, it's Kick, Cozy TV, Rumble. He should just go to any of these with, like, more of the, like, not degenerates, but more of the, controversial people stream on. He should just go there and become like the next Ethan Ralph. Fucking just go like and just be himself, right? Because he's obviously trying to like corral that like racist, hateful part of him so bad. And it's not working because like his mask doesn't even fit him anymore. It's just constantly falling off. He doesn't even bother putting it back on half the time. So why doesn't he just go to Cozy TV or Kick or whatever and just fucking go full-blown Ethan Ralph crazy fucking asshole racist douchebag and be himself? Because guaranteed he would probably have more people following him, and it would speak to a lot of the other like racist and extreme far-right people like that, you know? Like, but he's over here trying to like pretend he's not that. Like, I have improved, I've changed. No, you haven't,
March
though, Phil.
16, 2023, and you had to show a clip, one random clip from
Well, that's
last
what I'm
summer.
saying, Logan.
You
It's
didn't
like,
show something
I
did
think
last week or
Cozy
last month.
TV
Show
has a
something
lot
last-
of those
the
kind of
one moment
people.
of
Look at
weakness.
Nick
Whenever I do
Fuentes.
something
He's the
stupid on
same kind of
internet,
douchebag
it
like
gets
that.
hyper-analyzed,
Ethan Ralph, I
looked
think, is
in
over
with
in
a
Cozy
microscope
TV,
and
so, like,
blown away.
could do
this
that.
is what Darksydephil is.
You wouldn't get banned for
Have
saying
you
kind of
watched
stuff
the
like that in
last
Cozy
5 years of
TV.
content I've put out? There's probably, okay, yes, I'm a human. I make errors, absolutely, and I'm stupid, and I do dumb stuff when I get over-emotional.
But
This is
obviously
not the
can't do
norm
that
on
on
my stream.
Twitch or
People see that
YouTube.
clip out of context.
Probably
like you
not
guys
even
just
on
did.
Rumble.
And if all
Maybe
you knew
Kick?
of Darksydephil was that
Definitely
joke,
Cozy, he would be
you
able to
would
get away
hate
with
my
that, though.
guts. You'd be like, what a scumbag. He made a joke about child trafficking. What kind of a horrible person thinks child trafficking is funny? When you watch it in context, it's not as bad, but it's still bad.
No, it's just
But
as bad.
when
I
you
don't know.
watch all of
The context that you explained didn't make it any better. I'll
Nope.
be honest.
that's fine. I agree.
Because
That's fine.
I'm not sure which character you're even like portraying. So were you acting as the sheriff in that
Yes,
situation?
that's why I did. That's why I did like the accent. Yes.
I don't know. I think that like in a situation like that, like
Just
we
own
live
it
in a
at least.
society
Like,
that-
yeah, it was a
society
dumb
now
joke.
where,
I
like,
fucked
look,
up.
I
You know,
understand
it's
that
bad.
going into this
Sorry.
interview, that literally
Like,
every second of this
at
is
least
going
people
to
would
be
have some kind of
analyzed, and
respect
Adam
for him at
understands
that
You
point.
understand that, right? But
Mhm.
and literally everything you say, there's a camera on you at all times, especially when you're a live streamer, you know. And I mean, for somebody who does this for a living, I just feel like you have to be able
And
to
you would
bite your
think if
tongue
he's been
at sometimes, and
Exactly,
you need
and
to know
you would
better.
think that
I mean,
if he's
said
been
yourself
doing this
that
for
the switch was
15 years,
flipped, and
my 15-year legacy,
I understand that. I
he would have
totally understand. I am
learned
very forgiving of mistakes.
to bite his
right? But
tongue
when
at
there's
this
a
point, to
pattern of
temper
these
his,
things,
to
that
think a
go
little bit
back
before
over
he
the course
speaks.
of time,
Something.
like it's no longer a mistake. It's a it's a continuation. So I don't know. I
It
think
looks like it might
look,
be dropping little frames.
if you're saying
I saw.
that the
Hopefully they'll come
I'm
back.
also a big believer in taking people at their word.
I mean, I don't think I'm
right?
down. It's
Up
just-
until their actions show different. So you're saying that over the course of the since that joke, you've been pretty squeaky clean, and you haven't made inappropriate jokes like that are that edgy, I guess.
I don't. Here's the thing. I don't want to say that because I'm here 6
I don't know
days
if
a
I'm
week full time.
no, it says I'm
You know,
still
that's a lot of my
alive, but I
life.
don't know if it's
And
like
I guarantee you, if
pause,
I say
let me
right now,
check.
if I say, man, yeah, that was it, Craig, that's all I remember. Immediately there'll be other examples tossed out right now. They'll find it, right?
I understand.
no, it's
And
still
that's the
streaming.
problem
Okay.
is when you are 100%,
Just let me
on the
know if
internet
it, like,
at all
fully
times with the amount
goes
of
dead or
content I put out
anything,
on the internet, they will
and I'll
always find
pause it and
another
try to get it
example or
back.
whatever. I am actively trying to change. What I will say is this: you would be challenged. In the
No, we
last
wouldn't.
maybe
It's actually
2 to 3
really
years
fucking easy,
to really
Phil.
find a running pattern of me doing really bad jokes like that. Okay, maybe you'll find a
Nope.
few.
Oh, we find plenty.
I'm definitely a flawed individual, but
Very
you're not going to
flawed.
find it as like you wouldn't say, oh, here's 47 times within a year that Phil did that. I know for a fact he's a scumbag, right? You'll find one time here, one time here, one time here, and then they blow it
Phil,
up on the internet.
You just gave so many different people a reason to do exactly that.
Oh, they will. I know that, but the thing is, they do it anyway. It doesn't matter what I say or do. This is what they do. So
Now you said that the switch in your brain, was off, so that you made that joke. Like, do you have it in there that it's like thinking, like, when you said that you're like, maybe that was too much, or you were just free flowing, and that's just kind of you.
Let me put it this way: if I'm streaming and a joke pops into my head, and I feel, oh man, that's probably too much today, I usually will not say it. Usually, it'll be maybe an extenuating circumstance, or just for a second, a momentary lapse. I feel like what that was a momentary lapse because I've done it for so long. I get this weird observational humor in my head. And my brain is going a million miles a minute. Is this? Here's a joke. Here's a joke. Here's a joke. Here's a joke. Right?
But do you think that's observational humor though? Like I don't like it's, I don't know. Like I'm not one to like, there are people who make, like, there are comedians who make jokes and they're edgy and such.
And
like,
keep this in mind, like, he just restarted replaying Grand Theft Auto 5, right? And he redid the same racist joke before, which, like, he purposely got himself caught in that house just to hear those white yuppies say, oh my god, he's black! Like, he purposely did that again. Just like, oh, we have to do this again, right? Like, the same fucking joke. And this was, like, what, less than a month ago?
like that.
I'm like, okay,
I guess,
Phil.
do
sure.
you fancy yourself as a comedian? Like, because you're telling us that people come to your streams to watch you,
I'm sure he
rage
thinks he's
react
funny
to
and a
streams
comedian, but he's
and,
not at all.
Things like that.
And half the time it's just dead
and I
air
don't
on his
know. I'm
chat
asking.
streams anyway.
And
He's
I think
hardly
this is
even
probably
talking.
a better question for your fans. Are
And
they?
if he's
are they
not, if
coming
he is
to
talking,
watch
he's just complaining
for
about
those
shit.
edgy jokes, or are they coming to watch you rage? Because I don't know, man. It doesn't fit. That's
no,
that's
I
a
agree
really.
with you. I agree. I actually agree with you today. I should not have made that joke. I know that. That today you're 100% correct.
He's
15 years
acting
ago,
like
10
it's
years
happened
ago,
5 years
It
ago.
was a different climate on YouTube, and people were looking for that. That's who I
It was
And now
fucking
So
I'm
not.
this was last year, you said?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
probably summer of last year. Yeah.
So because it
was
just
not a
feels
different
like
climate
big leap
last
from
year.
going from a sheriff who is like trying to kill people to seeing a little black girl and thinking a slave trade. You know what I mean?
no,
you said
Now you
it.
said it.
See
You said
what?
You said black girl.
It was
That-
on
That's
screen.
correct.
I don't
That's
see
correct.
color, guys.
Herein lies
Like,
the
people
problem.
who always say,
What?
I don't see
I didn't
color,
think that.
are like usually the
my-
most
Doesn't matter.
racist
It
types
doesn't
of
You're
fucking
right.
people.
You're right. You're right. I agree with you. But in
Most
my
racist
mind,
types
I
of
didn't even
people are
see
like,
that.
I
didn't
don't see
think that.
color,
That- no, no.
guys.
The
Bullshit.
joke was, this is a scumbag sheriff. He's literally lying to everyone. If he's going to traffic someone for profit,
Look at
I
fucking
wouldn't be
Craig's
shocked.
face. He's like,
It wasn't. She's a
What?
black girl going to the slave trade, and that's stupid of me. Why the hell did I not make that connection in my head?
you fucking
I'm
did.
sorry.
You're a racist piece of
I admit
shit.
that. I'm dumb.
I don't know if I believe that.
You don't have to. That's fine.
Okay.
You don't have to believe me. I can't make you believe me. I didn't think of it at one moment. Did I ever think, oh, she's a black girl, make a slave?
He's
of her?
trying to
Absolutely not.
semantics his
It was
way
about
out of it, too.
child trafficking,
He's looking for
essentially, and then
any
this guy
way
was
to
probably
wiggle
done
out
that.
of this
He's
and
such a piece of garbage.
change the subject to anything else. It's like, oh, you said it. I don't see
Let's talk
color.
about your. I feel like we can. I feel like we can go on for an hour about this clip, but
Let's move on.
12-hour show coming up, folks.
Right. Let's talk about this. So it seems like your biggest detractors are some of your earliest fans.
Yeah, yep.
They were fans who have turned into detractors. Why
Because-
do you think that is?
Why?
So
Why do you
mean,
shit
this
on
might
your
be a long
fans so
answer.
bad? Why are you constantly
Right.
harassing and
again, I've
abusing
been doing this for
your
15
own
years.
fucking
My
fans,
first 5
Phil?
years that I did it, all right, I had absolutely no effort to make it professional at all. I was being a jackass.
Still
on camera,
don't.
okay, and I didn't even have direct capture. For 5 years, I was having a camera pointed at my TV. Everything looked like junk, okay? But it was a joke.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I'm
He
just some
he fucking says that now. Everything looked like shit. Everything, oh, it's a joke. No, Phil, you were so, what's the right word here? Stubborn about converting over to direct capture. So fucking stubborn. Even at the time, like right before he transitioned over to direct capture, he was like, it still looks good. I have my camera pointed at the screen and it still looks good and clear. I don't see why I have to change. He refuses to do anything to upgrade his own streams, to upgrade anything about his whole work. Because this is what he calls his own work, his job, right? But he refuses to actually upgrade or make improvements until he is literally forced to do so.
normal
And you
guy
know how
playing
he's
games.
forced to
I'm
do
terrible
so
at
is
them.
by his
I make
dents
risque
not
jokes.
paying
I'm
him.
swearing at them.
That's the
That
only
was
way
shtick.
he
That's
can
what everyone
make
liked back then.
changes.
And then
Because he's
basically what happened
too
was after doing it for about
far
4 to 5
stuck in his
years,
own comfort
someone
zone.
made a video.
If he's
And the video
comfortable,
was called
he's
This Is
not
How
going to
You Don't
move.
Play
You
Metal
got to
Gear
make
Solid
him
2.
uncomfortable
And this
in
was
order
a
to have
playthrough I'd done
him
of Metal
make
Gear Solid 2,
changes.
where I did my usual shtick. And my usual shtick is, oh, I suck at the game.
My usual shtick
my fault
is
that I suck at the game?
race-
Of course
Are
not.
you
It's the
trying to
game's fault. It's Hideo Kojima's fault. So I blame him.
He's trying to pretend that like he's not actually sucking at the game and that was all a joke.
But
That was all a trick.
Video, essentially
Oh no, I
taking
didn't
out the
really
moments
suck
of
at the
me
game.
doing
I was
that,
just
taking out
pretending to
all
suck at the
gameplay
game.
moments that would have been
Are you
considered
fucking
good
for
or
real,
fun or
Phil?
entertaining,
No,
and
you
only
were
focusing
horrible
on
at the
basically
games.
the cringeworthy moments.
You
He
still
made this
are.
montage, and it blew up with popularity on the internet. Okay.
This
essentially
is
what
how you
happened
don't
was
play
all of
ruin my whole
shortcomings as a
career,
content creator
guys.
For 5 years, these things that people liked now became, oh, Phil is not like his contemporaries. He's not putting effort into his content. He's just a jackass. Look at him. He's a joke. So now let's make fun of him. And what ended up happening was people would take every playthrough I did moving forward and make a "this is how you don't play" video about it. And my fan base turned on me. Admittedly, if you would like, I'm not going to go into a giant explanation.
So,
No.
so your fan base turned on you.
No, Phil, no. His fan base did not turn on him because This Is How You Don't Play came out. They turned on you because you were doing shit like fan mail ridicule shit or fan request ridicule and constantly fucking insulting their intelligence, talking down to them, verbally abusing them, all shit that he still does to this fucking day. And then he wonders why so many people have turned on him. It's not because This Is How You Don't Play came out. It doesn't matter if you're bad at games or not. I'm not the best at games. There's plenty of streamers out there that aren't the best in games, but they're still successful because they're actually entertaining and not a giant asshole and don't take their fans for granted and mistreat their fans all the time, Phil.
You because of what a video that somebody else did.
You're an abusive
highlighting-
piece of shit to your
Well,
fans.
like,
That's why.
That doesn't make sense, Phil.
Did you get bitter when that happened? Because when I hear,
oh my god, yes.
so do you think that bitterness changed the way that you were a content creator? Did you like add that into your shtick, as you say?
I don't think so. I think what happened was I reacted.
There is no
so
shtick.
bitterly
What
to
you
it.
see is what you get.
In
He
hindsight,
can't
today,
play
I
a
look at it
character
and I'm
because
like, that was an opportunity.
who
I
he
could have taken that
is.
and run with it. I could have done my own, or I could have highlighted those and laughed at them. But instead, again, it was a different climate today.
And he
everyone who makes
did.
content
He did
has
try
all
to
these
make
methods
his
of making
own.
a living, correct?
Because
You
if
have
anyone
Patreon,
remembers
you
on
have
and
crowdfunding
KO
on
Gaming,
that didn't
on
exist back
KO
then.
Gaming, he
Back
tried
then,
to
I
have
was
his
someone who had a
fans
full-time
submit
job, and the job
their
was
own
putting
This Is How You
videos
Don't
on
Play
the
to try to
internet
take
with
control of
monetization on
it.
them. That was my
So
only
And it was
this
terrible.
after 2011 when you lost your job.
Oh, correct. Yes, I lost my job in late 2010. I was doing YouTube for a living for about 2 years when the This Is How You Don't Play movement started picking up. And basically, the way I saw it, and this is, now I know this is stupid, I thought people are stealing my content, man. If someone takes my content without
still
my
think
permission,
this
edits it
today.
together and only shows the worst of me, that's going to highlight myself and my business in a very negative light. That's going to make me look like crap. And instead of people laughing with me, now they're going to laugh at me. And therefore, that's theft. I outright said this in my videos. You stole my content without my permission.
He still
How
thinks
dare
about
you?
this to this
is
day.
Bad. This,
Things like this.
Today, I realized how dumb that was. It's many years later. And let's be honest, the bubble was going to burst on ad revenue on YouTube one day anyway. I don't think that was ever going to last forever.
You
but
were not
I was an
thinking
idiot.
that.
I actually went 1,000,000% bitter against it. And when that happened, people saw that change in attitude of me. Wow, Phil used to totally just not care about anything. Now all of a sudden he's always bitter about people joking about him and stuff. And that just goes.
What is this cope segment?
Well,
And now-
that's what you just said right there. So you're admitting that you added this bitterness, but initially, like 2 minutes ago, you said that's when they turned on you, before admitting that you actually were getting bitter. So don't you think that like that kind of correlates? Like maybe it was that moment when you didn't own up to the fact that people were making fun of you, being this king of hate guy, now going to they're stealing my shit, I'm fucking pissed about it, what the fuck, and now everyone's like, well, who the fuck is this guy?
Exactly.
If you
There's
don't own
never
it,
a person who's not an
then you're
asshole
just a joke.
when everyone around
it
you is
felt like
calling
you
you an
just kinda, like,
asshole.
let
If
that
everyone's around you is calling
run
you an
your
asshole,
shit
then
that
you're
you
just
were
an
saying.
asshole. There's no
Correct.
way there's
I
like
have
you're not an
nothing I
asshole
can
and
say to
everyone's
counter
just
that in any
confused.
offensive manner. It's a mistake I made.
And why do you
My-
pick like this
my reaction to
tight
this
ass
is how you
little
don't play
size
directly
medium
fueled the fire for
t-shirt
more people
to wear
keep
to
doing
a
it
fucking
and
interview?
to
Like
escalate further.
that's how you're gonna
Started as
present
this feeling
yourself
of,
on an
Phil's
interview
a
like
bad
this?
gamer. He doesn't deserve the success he has on YouTube because
These
he has
old
no
ass
production
fucking
quality. He just
gamer
he's a rager,
t-shirts
you know,
from like
there's no you're not going to watch
10
a
years
Darkseid
ago,
playthrough
5 years ago.
and get any kind of knowledge of really how to play a game at a good level because he's not good at games. You watch him rage and make bad jokes and stuff. But it became, instead of watching his raw content to reward him with ad revenue, watch the This Is How You Don't Play video so he doesn't get paid for it and just make fun of him instead. And my reactions 1,000,000% fueled that. I will admit that. Now, over the years, it got worse and worse.
People
And
who
that's what
watch
we're
This
gonna
Is How
get
You
into
Don't
now.
Plays
It
and watch
wasn't
the
just about
Detractor
Phil's a bad gamer
content
anymore. It became
aren't
everything
going
else
to
under the
ever
sun. We can
watch
talk
you though,
about
Phil.
how that evolved over time. But
You do
it's my
realize that,
fault.
right?
It is my fault.
Like
that
people who
have
watch that
originally turned
probably
against me
don't
on the
like
internet.
you, so they're not
100%
gonna go and watch your shit.
Correct.
So you feel that your reaction to the "This Is How You Don't Play" is what really parlayed your fans into becoming detractors.
Not the
It's
fact
not
that he's
all
an
of them,
abusive
but
piece of shit.
Absolutely, back then, I saw people
And
who
yells and screams
had
at his
been
chat all the
longtime supporters
time
and fans disappear.
and puts
only
fake
2 years
constrictions
later
on
fall
him.
back into,
You
as
can't talk to
abuse
yourselves.
practice.
You have to talk
Oh,
to
what
me.
happened?
Has
I
to be
didn't-
related to the
way I saw it
game.
was- and this is my, I'm such an idiot. I admit this today. You know, after 15 years of doing this, you realize how you change as a person and how you can see from a different perspective. My mentality was, I'm the popular YouTuber. I'm the guy putting out all these videos and everyone's watching. I'm making money. My shit doesn't stink, man. How can you say that I'm doing
You
something
still
badly?
think that way
I'm
to
the
this
one who has
day.
a successful business, not you. So who are you to throw criticism at me? That was my attitude. What a dumb attitude to have. What an idiotic attitude. Everyone knows that you need to actively be listening to your viewer base and your fan base and working with them to create a product that's meaningful to them.
Something else you're not
And
doing.
at that point in my career, it was just put the same shit out every day, and hopefully people watch it. And you know, hey, up to that point, 2012,
Yep.
2013, I hadn't seen any plateauing. I hadn't seen any decline. It was still going up. So I'm thinking, hey, everything's good. If people are saying I'm bad, I don't believe them. That's bullshit. That's just them trying to ride my coattails, right? But in reality, they were all correct.
AKA
100% correct.
narcissism.
My shtick was tired. It was old. No one wanted to watch someone.
You didn't
with
have
camera
a
pointed at their
shtick.
TV,
That was
raging
you.
at Hideo Kojima. They wanted to see meaningful content, and things were changing. There were people coming to YouTube with better production quality, much higher quality stuff, interactive streams. I let all that pass me by. I was an innovator at the beginning, and I was a dinosaur 5 years in, and that's totally my fault. And
What would
You
you
know.
What would you say you innovated at the beginning?
You didn't
at the
innovate
beginning,
shit.
The improv commentary style and the ability to basically do a
Improv
solely
comedy style, like
through
any,
commentary.
like, oh yeah, no
Great.
one else was
I was not the
doing
first
what I
person who
did back then.
There's other people. Everyone will
Bullshit.
argue. There's actually argument between it was either Slow Beef or someone else who originally was like the big first Let's Player. But I was the person who started doing it rather than back then when I started. on YouTube, 2008 is the year where I really started doing active playthroughs. The people who were doing gameplay on YouTube were mostly known for being like a guru in one genre. This is the Call of Duty player.
Sorry, I think I'm dropping frames. I'm just gonna let it. Hopefully it'll come back soon.
This is the fighting game player. I was the jack of all trades. I could play any game. do commentary.
Yeah, he's
over it that
even
was kind of
admitted
improv
before that
commentary.
he
People
was
thought it
trying to
funny.
outright
It was
just
my
copy
mannerisms, my
AVGN.
jokes. Yes,
He
back then,
was.
that
He
kind of stuff
never
was funny.
innovated shit. You didn't invent the
and
term
You say that kind of stuff.
playthrough.
What do you mean?
Because I know he's
Well, we
he's
just talked about it.
claimed
We were
he
talking
did
about
that
risque
too.
jokes. You know,
No,
back then,
people were doing
my
that shit
commentary
before.
was like 90% sexualized content. It was making fun of every woman, making dick jokes, you know, sex jokes, bad stuff. That today you don't say that stuff. That's stupid. That's dumb.
And
That's
now you're
lowbrow comedy.
afraid of women
But back then, that was
altogether.
a big part of my content. I watch.
You
now,
see a woman in a
couldn't even
bikini and you
stomach
freak
watching
out. You
stuff that
think
I did 2008 to like 2011. I'd be like, it just turns my stomach to listen to like who I was, how cringeworthy I was back then.
so
We all-
cringeworthy. You
I-
can't. I
look, we all
can't
get
even
it, right?
look
We
at
understand
women
that-
anymore.
that
Oh my
people change over
god,
time.
it's so
Totally
gross.
understand that. I guess my thing is, what have you done?
But if there's
So
two
you've had these light
guys,
bulb moments, right? You said you had one last year. You had one,
naked,
2012, 2013,
or
where
just
you
in
realized that you're
boxers.
getting
Oh
left
yeah,
behind
I'll
from
look
a
at
technological
that.
standpoint, and you're doing gameplays that are, the big difference for Phil was Phil could play all games, not just fighting games or Call of Duty or whatever. What has changed? What are
Like
you doing
most people
differently
at the
now
time
in
were doing it.
2023 that you were doing that you weren't doing in 2013 when you had this realization? Because it sounds like you're doing the exact same thing, Phil. It sounds like
He still
I'm,
is.
I'm the guy who plays different games and occasionally come to my channel to get some sort of shock value joke, right? What differentiates you now from who you were a decade ago?
Nothing.
Okay.
My
Geez,
background.
first of all, full-time streamer. I wasn't back then. I was just a YouTuber. Now I'm a full-time streamer, 6 days a week, full-time. You know, mostly gameplay. Now I do React content as well. We'll talk about that in a second. Those jokes I don't really make anymore at all. Now, when I turn on a stream, it's about having a relaxed social conversation with my live audience. You know, I have people who come by and who are regulars now, who I recognize in the chat, and I can talk with them, and as if they're a friend. Okay, back then I didn't know anyone. Maybe I knew people who helped me with moderation.
Hi Jade. Hi
I
Derek.
didn't know my viewers back then. I didn't have.
Hey Jade, I know I'm like a really good friend of yours. Did you get up and walk around Disney World? Did you have a fun time, Jade?
In 2013 Darksydephil, that's for sure.
Oh right, I'm such a good friend. I forgot you were in a wheelchair. Sorry, Jade.
It's community effort. I'm playing Oblivion right now. I don't know anything about Oblivion. It's the first time playing it, but people help me with the game, and because
Oh
of that,
god,
social aspect,
Oblivion
the
was
game is a
such a
relaxing
long
chill
fucking
session.
playthrough. It was
There
so
was no
boring.
way I could have done a chill session in 2013. That wasn't what I was. I was a raged, risque commentary kind of guy. Today, that's all
Still
gone,
are.
mostly. Now, yes, there are moments of rage. I'm playing Wolong. There's definitely moments of rage that come back. But for the
He's
most part,
always behind the times. He's
watch the stream
never
today versus all the things that people say that I am, and you'd be like,
whatever that
I get this all
my
the
brain
time.
is now.
Someone will come by,
He's
a streamer of
never
mine,
with the
and
times.
end
He's
of the
always
stream,
way
they'll say,
behind.
Phil, just so you know, this is the first stream.
And then he tries to
I've heard all
adapt to
these
like
things
new
about it.
practices that
And
are
I don't get it. I
popular.
just watch a
But
3-hour
again,
gameplay
because
stream.
he's so far
None of the stuff that
behind,
people
it's
say about
already
you just
like
happened in the stream. In fact, it
a
was very
moot
relaxing.
point at that point.
What
There's
just
no
happened?
point in
Like,
even doing it.
they highlight the moments that are the shortcomings. That's what they do today. Or they reference 2013 Darksydephil as if that's today, and saying that's the content I put out today. It's not. It's just definitely not.
Hateful
I have a whole new
slurs.
channel where now I'm doing React style content, which again I used to be an idiot. I hate React.
Still
content.
are an
Reacting,
idiot.
That's lowbrow. That's minimum effort. And people are like, Phil, people are interested in your thoughts. They just want to hear you react to random stuff from the internet. They want to hear you
The
talk about
5
music.
people
Why
that
would you
are
think
still
that's
your
bad?
fans are
Yeah,
interested in
okay.
your
You know
thoughts,
what?
Phil.
Let me give it a shot. I
Hey
started
Phil,
doing
what'd you
React
have to
content.
eat
People love it.
today, Phil?
So that's on me.
Phil, what do you
For
think
years
of
being
this
an idiot,
Singapore
saying dumb
video,
shit on the
Phil?
internet, and now I try it, and it works, and it's more relaxing,
And
it's
it
fun, it's
works.
interactive with my
Oh,
audience.
it works
That's the
so
difference,
well,
is
doesn't
that
it?
I've now become a more laid-back guy.
Lolcow.
I want to put out meaningful content for my people every day. There's a difference between I did one rage-inducing
fucking
thing, everyone laughed at it
meaningful
and talked
shit.
about it, versus wow, I just put out.
Phil,
a
you don't
4-hour
understand
stream,
what
and
meaningful
people
means
told me that they
because
were able
your
to
content
separate
definitely is not that.
from
Well-
their daily lives and relax with me and have a good time. That's more meaningful to me than getting one rise out of a stupid joke.
What is what's a day like look for you? Like when you wake up, what is your average day like? Walk me through a day of Phil. Like
Okay.
when you from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep.
Usually I don't wake up. Usually my cat wakes me up. And, I get out of bed and get you ready for the day, just like a normal person. Shower.
Yeah, honestly,
breakfast,
thank
get
God
coffee,
Adam is here because,
chores around
like,
the house quick,
I think
touch
Craig needed
base,
someone
watch
else.
some
Craig needed
things like that.
someone other than just
jump
himself
into
because
the office
Adam's
here.
calling him out on a lot of his
time-wise, I
bullshit.
probably get up between 8 and 9 a.m. every day. I get into the office usually between 10:30 a.m. I'm setting up for my stream for the day. I'm reading news off of Twitter to try to have news stories for everyone to talk about on my podcast, which I do every day. My stream usually
Podcast.
goes on by 10:45 a.m. my time.
And the news is
we
just
do a little
what's
bit of
trending on Twitter at the
go on
time.
stream for about 15, 20
Oh,
minutes,
I'm
watch some
sorry.
music or whatever.
The
And then I
X
do what I
app.
call the Level 1 podcast. This is about an hour to an hour and a half long show where it's just discussion. And it could be a wide variety of topics, whether it's my gaming schedule for the next week, whether it's special events coming up, getting feedback from my viewers on how you like the things I'm currently doing, news stories, all kinds of stuff. This is something I just started about a year to a year
And
and a
this
half
is
ago,
always what
something I used to do,
happens
and I realized this is
with
meaningful,
when
I should be
normies
doing
enter
podcast.
the
So I do the podcast. Usually the podcast
Detractor
ends around
sphere, the
12:30-ish Pacific time.
the
Maybe take another
Phil
few minutes break, then we
hypnosis
start with
universe,
gameplay.
whatever you want to
So
call
we'll do
it.
about a 3 to
Like
4
when
hour
a
gameplay
normal
stream.
person is
Games that
confronted
I've
with
talked
Phil,
about wide variety,
like
and I have a set
at
schedule
first they're
every day.
always
I'll
willing
post
to
it up
give him
everywhere
the
on my
benefit of the
socials
doubt.
so people know what
But
I'm
the
doing.
more and more he
That
talks, the
gameplay
more
will
and
usually
more
run about
a
3 to 4
normal
hours. Then
person
when
is going to
that's
realize
done,
he's full
I
of
have to
shit.
upload all that content. So
And when they
half an hour,
first
roughly,
started,
setting up uploads
they
or
were
whatever.
willing to give
And
him
then
the
usually I
benefit of the
spend some time- if
doubt.
my wife's home from
And
work,
it
I'll
was
spend
Phil that
about an hour
convinced
with
them
my wife having dinner.
otherwise. Was
You
no
know,
one
running
else.
errands
No
around the
one.
house.
Detractors
Again, depends
didn't
on the
get to
day,
them
anything I could squeeze between
and
the
change them
I'm right
beforehand.
back
They
on stream
weren't
again
negative
around
to him from the
6,
start.
6:30.
They were
I'm
willing
in
to
the
hear
office
his
again.
side of the story. Yeah, that's it. The Vortex. I
And
couldn't
I'm
remember
streaming
what it
again
was
for another 2 to 3 hour,
called.
gameplay stream.
But yeah,
The late night streams are more chill streams. What I say is the daytime streams are more. Let's say there's a major new game coming out. In a few weeks we got Resident Evil. Actually, next week Resident Evil 4 remake. That'll be my daytime streams. That's the one everyone wants to see. More people can watch usually on an earlier time zone or time frame. So I play that on the first stream. My late night streams are chill. You just want to relax with me. You don't care about rage. You don't care about a new game. You just want to relax with Phil. Come to my late night stream. That's like 6:45 p.m. every day, and that runs about 2.
why would anyone want to
It's just
relax
chill
with
gameplay.
you?
It's not about the gameplay. It's about me talking with my audience. And if there's gameplay, great. We'll advance with the game. But it's more just relaxing.
You're not
And then when
talking with the
that's done,
audience,
that
though.
stream probably
If they
runs to
tip
around
you,
9,
you'll
9:30
talk to your
p.m.
audience.
Upload, and then of course I'm closing down for the day, setting up streams for the next. I'm probably out of my office between 10 to 11 p.m. So all in all, we were talking work day wise. My work day starts roughly around 9:30, 10 a.m. and ends around 10 to 11 p.m. Then after that, I maybe have an hour to spend with my wife and relax at night. Watch some
My
watch a movie, watch
wife?
a TV show or whatever. And
Talk
and
about
then
my
chores
wife.
around the house. It's time for bed and on to the next day. And that's 6 days a week. That's my life. 1 day a week I take off from streaming and content creation.
And that's your
And
choice
that
to
day
do
is
so, Phil.
essentially every
It's not
possible
like you're
thing you can
working
think
for
of
someone.
that I need to cram
You
into
make
one
your own
day,
damn schedule,
whether that's
Phil.
grocery shopping, doctor's appointments, running errands, everything you can think of. Oh, by the way, that's the one day I have off to spend some time with my wife. Other
Again,
than an hour here and an
your
hour
choice.
there. So if we're
to
gonna
do that.
something, we try to cram it in on that day. And that's
So-
my life.
So let me ask you this. Just based off of what you're saying right now, that doesn't seem like the most healthy lifestyle. It doesn't seem like the most conducive, like, from a streaming perspective or a content perspective. Yes, you're producing a lot of content, but it doesn't seem like a very healthy lifestyle. Do you feel
Quality
feel
over
that
quantity, Phil's
your-
motto.
community and the people who donate to your streams are enabling that lifestyle? Do you feel that they are encouraging you to live that lifestyle that may not be the healthiest lifestyle?
So you're saying through people showing up and supporting my streams, they're making me work more. Is that the question?
Maybe
Well-
maybe you have a pressure that you're putting on yourself to do that because this is your only job. And then you're therefore working as much as you are because you are working for the support that you have. So it's like cyclical. Like they come and then you're like, I need to be there, and then like now you need to be there and do it all day. And then if they're not there for you, then it's kind of like this mental addiction almost. I mean, I've been
Right.
doing YouTube for about 3 years, and I know that it's a thing. Getting addicted to super chats, numbers, analytics, like the way that you spoke about analytics about 20 minutes ago, or no, 40 minutes, I don't know, earlier in the stream, you're clearly very much like watching it and attuned to it. So it's obviously on your
Attuned.
mind.
Right. I think the biggest thing is, we talk about mental health, right? Mental health, physical health, and how they're so tied together. And the one thing I didn't hear during there is a time to, you know, whether work out or have time for yourself. You know, everything that you're doing right now seems to be from a streaming perspective, from a content perspective, right?
Oh, hanging
And
out with his wife. You know,
right. Well,
watching a movie.
but an hour at the end of the
That's
day,
chill.
right? Yeah, and that's awesome. I'm just thinking once again, like you it seems like you're in this never ending, I don't know, for lack of a better metaphor, like a hamster wheel where you get up and you start running and then you finish up at the end of the day and you
This
finish
is
up
a
running and then you
swing
get off,
that
you go to sleep and you wake up
never
and you do that
ends.
6
It goes
days a
on
week. And
on
I understand
forever.
we all have our hamster wheels in our rotations and our schedules and the way we do things, but it just appears that just from the outside looking in that if you weren't making the money that you were making, you probably wouldn't live that lifestyle.
Okay, fair enough. I've talked about this many times over the last several years with my viewers. They say, "What would you change if you could improve anything about?"
I just
your
need more
life? What would
money.
you do? And the answer would be somehow to take financial pressure off of me so I could spend more time with my wife. We've been married since 2019. We never went on a honeymoon.
Phil, you make
haven't been on a
plenty
trip
of fucking
since we
money
got married.
for just a couple and a
Can't
pet
afford it,
cat.
you know, and I'm sure this
You
is
make so
stuff will
much
come up.
damn money
Yeah, I went through a bankruptcy.
that like
These are
like
really
you
bad
could
choices in my
probably
past
like
and a
pay
combination of
for a
all my
family of
time
4,
ruining a lot of
per
my financial
year.
income with my business.
Especially
in
after your
combination with
bankruptcy.
tandem of that
The
ruined a
problem
lot of
is
stuff
you're
for me.
greedy as
Since the
fuck
bankruptcy
and
went
you're
through,
addicted to
I
WWE
have not been
champion.
able to fully recover.
That's why you
because
do
of-
this.
It's always something else, and I'm tired of it. I really am. I'm looking, where's the light at the end of the tunnel? So I can have an extra day off with my wife once a week, which I think I deserve. And
So
she
I can
deserves.
finally give
But
her that
every
honeymoon.
time- and again, I want to make something very clear here. I am not trying to put myself out as a victim. All right. The reason that a lot of the things that happened to me over the years is because of me. I know that. I'm a flawed human. I'm sorry for some of the horrible things I've said and done over the years. I've publicly apologized. That's why a lot of people hate me. But every time that it looks like things are getting better, these people will do something horrible to me or my family that ruins financially things for me. This has happened several times over the last few years. There was 2 years ago. All right. There was a light at the end of the tunnel. I was still on Twitch. This wasn't when I was full-time YouTube streamer. I was a Twitch streamer. I've been streaming on
Oh
Twitch
yes,
for
it's
4.5
all
years.
it's all not
I
my
built
fault.
up
I
my
got
viewership,
banned
my
from Twitch
my subs on Twitch were at like 900 subs a month. Things were going good.
because
I
there's a
said
lot of
publicly to my
gifted
audience, guys,
subs
this is
and
great.
Amazon
You know,
Prime.
the bankruptcy went through last year. That's not great, but that took a lot of financial burden off of me. If things keep going how they're going, I see a light. I'll be able to improve my business. I'll be able to maybe take time off, spend time with my wife, reduce the amount I stream. This will be outstanding. What happened? My trolls took the King of Hate mantra, which we just discussed earlier, and they got me kicked out of the Twitch Partner Program because of it. Now, I've been with the Twitch Partner Program for 4.5 years. Twitch had no issue with me. Twitch, knowing who I was in my past and the kind of content that I put out and everything, willingly took me under their partner program. They signed me up for promotional opportunities. They had me promoting different things on their streams and stuff. And then they actually campaigned to get me kicked off of Twitch, and they did. So I'm not kicked off of Twitch, but I can't make money on Twitch anymore.
What
happens?
did they do? What do you feel that they did to you to get you removed?
Yes,
off
please
Twitch
tell us.
specifically?
They organized a
Enlighten
campaign.
us.
They did it, and
A
the thing is, these people are
campaign.
so everything they do, they try to do publicly, so that way they can get a laugh out of it, or at least get credit for it. So there was an organized movement against me, where what they were going to do was say that 2021 Phil, because that's the year this happened, is the same as 2009, 2010 Phil. They took
Which
out
you
of context
are.
clips. They took those bad jokes from back then, which I've already
Out of context clips. Phil, we don't need out of context clips. Those were the fucking jokes. There was no context needed. And they weren't all parts from 2019, 2010. There were recent ones, Phil. Because, yes, you do say harmful slurs, hateful slurs. You fucking do that.
publicly apologized for it, and I don't do that kind of stuff.
Doesn't matter if you apologize or not. You said it, and
Well, I
it
just
was
saw a bad clip from
not
a year
that far.
ago, so that's pretty
exactly.
recent.
Thank
That's
you,
correct.
Adam.
Again, I'm totally fallible. I make mistakes from
Hateful
time to time,
slurs.
okay? But for the most part, that's not me anymore.
Mhm.
I know,
Content, you won't see
but
that.
what you just said was just disproven because you had just made it that same kind of racy joke. I'm
Yep.
not trying to like make it a
Mhm.
big deal, but I'm just pointing out that what they were saying is 2000 21 Phil is the same as before.
Oh,
When
we're only an
you
hour
just
into
told me
this?
in 2022, you made a joke. So
Oh,
this was
Lordy.
after they'd said this, and you're making the same kind of like inappropriate jokes that you were back then.
Correct.
So it's kind of they're right.
Correct.
Are they
No,
right
you're
or are they
right.
wrong? I mean,
they're right in saying that I still make mistakes and I'm a flawed human. They're wrong in saying this is who Phil is all the time. This is his content, because that's what got this happening. And by the way, it wasn't just the Twitch partner program. They basically did this exact same thing to all these different business relationships that I had. They said,
Where?
he's the king of hate. He has a website called thekingofhate.com. Here's a bunch of bigoted, racist, sexist, horrible jokes he's made over the years, and they
Which you
compiled this
actually
into a
made
montage.
that
And
were
they basically
recent.
had hundreds, if not more, people pummel these businesses with it, to the point where they said, listen, it's not that, we had Phil on our site for so long. We knew this was him.
Oh, yes. I gotta give these people, I gotta paraphrase what these people are probably saying, even though I have no idea what the fuck they're saying. Phil, they did not say this. You are making up so much shit right now.
Constantly harassing us for this. So we
Can't have
to end
people
it. That way
harassing
the-
it.
the-
Yes,
it
that's
won't
exactly
stop.
what
It
they
won't
thought
stop.
and
did
said.
Twitch tell you that? Did they say that to you?
No.
Twitch told me.
No, they didn't.
Here's where they told me. We launched an investigation into your history, and we found that over the years you have used, what was the word? It wasn't racial. It was harmful slurs.
Hateful slurs
as
is
if
what they said.
basically
Not
I'm
harmful,
saying
hateful.
really nasty racial or things that I do not say. I do not say
Yes,
those
you
things.
do.
You'd have to go back so far to see
Nope.
me say something like that, and it was a one-off comment. That was, again, I'm sure people will bring it up what it was specifically, and we could address it individually if you want.
And remember, Teespring is I'm pretty sure it's a Jewish company, right? And so someone probably showed Teespring the whole Dead Space 2 clip that got him kicked off a blip, and they're probably fuck that. That's probably what happened there. But no, it's this is all bullshit, Phil.
The way they're portraying, we found that you said this 100 years ago. Sorry, you're gone. What? I was on your site for 4.5 years making money. You never had an issue with it. Now you find something from the past, and that's not
Or maybe it was
acceptable, and
something
all of a sudden,
recently.
it changed overnight. And the
He's
funny
not
part was
bringing
it
up all the
happened to me. I
times
had
he was
another streamer
banned
called
from
Wings of
Twitch
Redemption
for
that
saying the
published all at once,
N-word.
almost as if Twitch
Notice
was
how
having
he's
a
not
culture
saying
shift,
bringing that
where
up.
They decided they wanted problematic people off the site. They wanted them,
that is true. I mean, that happened to plenty of people.
Right.
I know
So-
people who got booted off of Twitch because they're Christian and they're proud of
Wow.
it. And it's pretty crazy. So I don't like Twitch.
So here I am. I've never received any kind of a warning. I never gotten a community strike. Everything I'm doing according to Twitch terms of service is fine. I'm not banned from Twitch. I could stream there right now.
You've had plenty of
But according
times
to
you
their
were
partnership
banned from it.
criteria, all my past actions are unforgivable, and therefore you can't make money on our site anymore.
Did
So
you go
what
to them and bring them, did you explain to them this comment was made? Have you had any sort of discourse with Twitch to kind of explain these things? Because if you're saying that these comments were made a decade ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever, and culture was different or whatever it is you want to say, have you had that opportunity to speak with Twitch about these things? And if you did, do you feel, well, no, we'll start there.
Okay. And by the way, it's not just Twitch. This happened to several other businesses too. I don't want to talk about all of them publicly only because it's just going to open the hornet's nest. But basically, these businesses, the way that they approach it now is, well, we have terms of service. If you break them, too bad. We have absolutely no legal obligation to tell you what you did wrong because we just don't have to. I don't believe that's true. I think if you do something wrong, they should tell you what exactly, specifically,
Phil, you
what
signed.
you did and how to remedy it.
Phil,
'Cause if
you
you're telling me I
signed
did
the
something to
terms and
break our
conditions
legal
when you
agreement,
first made your
obviously I
account
wanna
on
fix
Twitch.
that. I don't want to.
You agreed to this
But
stuff.
they don't care. I tried reaching out to the legal team of Twitch, and essentially that we have no obligation to have further contact with you. If you'd like to reapply for the Twitch Partner Program, come back in 365 days and reapply, and at that time we'll reevaluate the situation. So
Well,
now I'm out of income for a
Which he
year.
didn't do anyway
Okay, so
when he could have.
Can you still be an affiliate?
Nope. I was completely out of the partner program for a full year.
So it's been a year. Why don't you try to rebuild the affiliate side of things and try to reapply? And I mean, it's been how many years now? I mean, and
It's
if
been
you go the
almost 2
affiliate, so if you go the affiliate route, I mean, being a partner on Twitch, and let's be real, being a partner on Twitch, it allows you nothing. You know, there's no benefit of being a partner on Twitch at all outside of them
It's
wanting
actually
to.
worse because
Right.
you can't share your content in multiple places. You have to be
Mhm.
exclusive on Twitch.
Right. So it would seem like the best route would be go the affiliate route and not be a partner on Twitch.
Yeah.
That way you can stream to
Yeah, it makes
YouTube and
sense,
cast your
Phil.
net
Won't
as
do
wide
it.
as you possibly can and grow your audience as much as you possibly can. I don't know. Like,
That would be something smart.
why not
and
do
Phil is
that?
not going to do anything smart. Come on.
I've told you one half of the equation.
Mhm.
Let me tell you other stuff that was also going on.
Let me
Within
tell
that
you
same
more
timeframe of
about that
happening the whole
because
year,
I need to talk more about
Twitch
it.
had basically several times shut down my business entirely for things I never did. So, for example, it was the summer before I'm streaming a game, and my stream just goes offline right in the middle. What happened? Oh, you've been hit with a copyright strike. A copyright strike. Someone lied, said they worked for the company that I was playing the game of, and impersonated an employee, and Twitch doesn't vet it. They just shut your whole stream down. This happened probably 3 to 5 times within a small time frame. And I'm like, wow, like, I hope it goes away. Eventually it did, but they left me with basically no avenue to really fix this issue besides
Pizza
going
sounds
to
really
support
good,
and
Logan.
saying,
I wish I
you
had
know,
some
what are you
pizza right
doing?
now.
Do you actually have confirmation this is real or not? Then at the same time, okay, that I got kicked out of the Twitch partner program, I decided I'm going to, just what you just said, Craig, I didn't just quit Twitch that day. I stuck around for about a month after that. I said, you know what? I can't get super chats. I can't get paid subs right now. I'm going to roll with it
Just
anyway.
tip me
Let's see
only.
what
Give me
happens.
tips
Can I make a
only. I
living?
just really
I
need
had a
that tips,
Patreon.
guys. I was
People
banned.
were sending me tips, you know, direct donations, as you call them. Maybe I could still make a living doing that. And you know what? More power to it, because if I can, now who cares if I'm not in the partner program? What are they going to get me kicked out of, right? As I'm streaming, I get shut down again. What? Oh, you said a racist term. No, I didn't. And then I repeal it. Oh,
What did they say
back.
you said? What did they say that you said?
I
What?
believe it was the N-word.
I believe it was the N-word, but I totally didn't say that. But I basically
Did
said
you
it.
say the N-word?
Oh, no. I was playing a
Did
Returnal,
you?
and when I was playing it, I was in the middle of saying something, and then like an enemy attacked me, and it was like a jumble of words that just happened to maybe sound like that. If you were not listening in context, you might say, "Oh my God, I heard it out of context. It sounds like he said it," but it was. It was actually like me getting tongue twisted. You know, and it could happen to anyone. And then they
Yeah, it could happen to
massive
anyone.
trolls,
Anyone
massive
could
attack to
actually
Twitch.
say the N-word, you know?
He said the N-word. So now I get kicked off of Twitch temporarily. My whole stream gets shut down. It took about a day. I got brought back, but it's like, at one point, when am I going to realize this business is not being professional? They're going to kick me out of their partner program for stuff I did 10 years ago, not give me any recourse to appeal it or stick up for myself. We don't have to do that legally. So, you know, so now I'm out money that I was making for a living.
They don't
Now
owe
you
you
can shut down
money,
my stream
Phil.
anytime for
That's
something I
your
didn't
fault.
even do. And then I have to go out of my way.
Twitch, YouTube, these places didn't force you to do this for a job. You do realize that, right, Phil? You chose to do this for a job. Twitch and YouTube don't give two shits if you can't make any income anymore because you're doing this for a job instead of entertainment, okay? That's on you. And they don't owe you jack shit. You sign the terms and conditions, which means they can let you go for any fucking reason they want, Phil.
Way to correct your
And that's what they
mistake
did.
because you're an unprofessional business. I mean, and I was there for almost 5 years.
These unprofessional
building
business
community. I had
guys.
so many people who loved me being on Twitch, and I lost a lot of viewership and a lot of income moving from Twitch and coming over, becoming a full-time streamer on YouTube. YouTube is not as profitable to stream, man. There's no real discoverability over here. It's
I'll be
very hard to
right
notice
back.
on YouTube.
Super
I
quick.
love
I'm gonna leave
all
this
of you.
running.
But
Why
there's
do
no
you really- why do you wanna
discoverability on
do it
Twitch
then?
either. Yeah,
Why,
I
why do you want
I-
to even be a streamer anymore? Like, what is your reasoning? I like streaming. I understand. I love being on stage. I'm a musician as well. There's something about having an audience that I really love, and I love having an audience. They're the reason that I'm successful. And it's like, if you're struggling, if you're facing this, like, wouldn't it be better for your well-being and like your relationship with your wife and your family to just stop doing this for a little while, get a normal job, and just kind of take a breather?
A lot of people have said that to me. My mother said that to me when I got married. She's like, look how things are going, on the internet. Everyone's crapping on you. And, don't you think that maybe long term, things should change. And at that point, and that was around 2019, before the bankruptcy and all of that, I kind of agreed with her. I was like, yeah, look at this. You know, I'm trying my best. I'm trying to improve and be better. And it's like people don't care. People just want to crap on me no matter what I do. And my mom said something really important to me. She said, you're not beholden to anyone but yourself and God. Like, as long as you're okay with who you are in the morning and that you feel that you're okay with God.
Okay,
My
I'm
mom's
back.
religious
Sorry about
like
that.
Okay, but when she said that to me, it was like, she's right. You know, why do I have to
thank you,
answer to
Mama
every
Burnell.
mom
You're so
every day?
sweet.
Why can't I just live my life like everyone else on this planet, right?
You can.
But
You're the only one getting in your own way,
the
Phil.
but,
No one else
a
is.
lot of things changed between 2019 and now. I love what I do now. At one point, I will openly say this.
I never liked what I did, guys.
2016, a lot of things were going really bad for me.
You don't fucking love what you do. You obviously
really
don't have
started to
any
just totally
love for
hate
any
me.
games anymore.
I was getting, all kinds of horrible things were happening to me behind the scenes. My personal life was falling apart as well. This is before I met my wife, by the way. And I didn't know what to do.
Talk about
I felt
my
like I was
wife.
trapped. I was like, I have so much debt in my name. There's no way if I quit YouTube, if I'm gonna make, if I'm gonna get a 9-to-5 job somewhere, I'm gonna lose everything. I'm gonna lose my house. I'm gonna lose everything because I can't afford it. If I get a 9-to-5 job, I would never make as much money, as I do on YouTube.
And that's all it comes down to is money with him.
So that's really what it comes down to is streaming is more profitable than getting a 9-to-5.
That's 50% of it, I would say. About a 50% weight. Because the other half is since I became a full-time streamer in 2017 and I changed my formula. It's not just about pumping out a ton of videos a day. Instead, it's about having meaningful content. With
You
an
still
audience
pump
that I
out a ton of
connect with.
videos a day, though, Phil.
This now, I would say, for 2017 till today, has been the absolute best time of my life, professionally and personally, because I met my wife, and I have a great personal life. As
My
little time as
wife,
I get to
thumb
spend with
jerk in the back.
It's the best experience I've ever had in my life. It was a life-changing experience meeting my wife, and then becoming an interactive streamer and leaving that past behind. I have to fill dead air constantly with a stupid, risque joke and dumb commentary.
We still have
And
to fill
growing up
dead
and
air. I
maturing.
mean, that
I'm
hasn't
40
changed.
years old. I'm not some teenager or 20-year-old being an idiot on the internet. I don't.
Yeah, now
my
I'm
audience
afraid of
today
sex.
Is not the same audience I had 15 years ago. Now, if you look at as Adam says, I'm Mr. Analytics, right? If you look at my analytics, you'll notice.
When did Adam say
I
that?
get almost no teen
Did I
viewers.
miss that?
Almost like less than 1% of my viewership are teens. It's people in their mid to late 20s, 30s, and 40s. Why? Because now you come to my content and it's chill fun. Every once in a while the rage comes out. Everyone laughs at it, but it's more meaningful stuff. I love that connection I have with my fans. I really feel like my fans are in some ways, and not that I'm going to that level of personal connection, but they're kind of like my friends. They're really good acquaintances who I know, and we can chat and we can dick around every stream and have meaningful talk. I learn stuff from my audience. And now I look back at my past, like, what a dummy I was. I had this amazing experience I could have been having for years and years, and instead I sat there making dumb jokes instead of actually making meaningful content. So I love my job now.
What does meaningful mean? What does that, like, walk me through? What does that
exactly
mean? You feel
does
like
it mean,
you're,
Phil?
like, is this, you say you have your audience is your friends, right? You feel like you have now I've seen clips of you say that your audience is not your friends, right? So, like, are they your
Which
friends,
one
or
is
are
it,
they not
Phil?
your friends? Are they, because you're kind of speaking of just based off clips I've seen.
Sure.
You're kind of speaking of both sides of your mouth here.
My audience are not close personal friends. I'm not going to come on stream and tell you about super important behind the scenes stuff in my life. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I'm here 6 days a week. This is my
exactly. But I didn't
wife,
know any better.
and
I was
one day a
still
week that I
young
leave
at the
this house
time. I'm like,
do
no, you
stuff
weren't. You
when
were
I'm not
in your
streaming.
30s,
This
Phil.
right here, this laptop.
You should have
this
known
chat,
better
I'm supposed
in
to
your
interact with
30s.
the world.
It's not like it's not like he was a 16, 17-year-old
friendly
making
with people.
content.
That's, as if you were, you go to your place of work. Hi, how you doing? Your coworkers, right? You walk in, you hang out with them or whatever. It's kind of what it kind of feels like, a camaraderie with regulars. And, there's people who come in and out all the time, and that's the nature of the beast. But I really do feel like today it's more meaningful what I do. There's, again, back in the day, people would say, Phil, I loved your content because I got to laugh today watching you raid. Today it's like, Phil, let me tell you something. Something horrible happened in my life. And I came by your stream, and I hung out with you for 2 hours today. You were playing Oblivion. We talked. I helped you with the game. We had fun conversation about something going on the internet. At the end of that stream, I felt so much better. It was such a fun, meaningful experience to me. And when people give me that feedback, that lets me know that what I'm doing is worthwhile. With all the hate and all the shit that gets thrown at me every day, that what I'm doing is meaningful. Since I've become a full-time streamer and I've taken ownership of who I am and the content I put out rather than just making dumb jokes, I feel like now this is the best time of my life because I'm helping people.
The best days of my life.
And I love it. It helps me. You know what I mean? It's like kind of reciprocating back and forth.
Is it?
Okay.
Let's I think that every streamer has a relationship with their audience that's unique, right? As somebody who's doing it, I don't know your personal relationship with your audience. Is that you, Adam? Was that you toasting? Okay, just making sure.
You were talking about a relationship with the audience, you know, and
right?
Just giving them
right.
a chef, giving them a toasty.
Okay, just making sure. So, but it seems like your relationship is a little different when it comes to, you're very open that you are funded by your audience, right? You've said many times that you don't want sponsors, but you started talking today about how no sponsors will touch you, right? Because of for a number of different reasons, for your reputation, right? What is it? Which one is it?
Guys.
Would you rather have sponsors? What's wrong with having sponsors compared to if a
I'm
sponsor's
known
going to
for
come
my
and pay
honesty,
$500 to talk
guys.
about whatever their product is, wouldn't that be better than having to rely on crowdfunding or your audience on a day-to-day basis?
Oh, it's a double-edged sword. It really is, because I could say right now, if I had a bunch of sponsors on my stream, absolutely would things financially be better? Would the pressure be taken off of me to earn on a stream? Yes, absolutely it would.
But I'm going to keep leading my viewers dry.
And again, this is something that people will bring up that feels stubborn. I agree. I have always in the 15 years that I've made content, always been critical of people who shill. And there's a difference between, I have a sponsor today and I shill. There is. I know that.
Is there?
You can watch people out there.
You treat people that have sponsorships as shills, Phil.
Video as a plug. I think that's acceptable, right? But then there's people who they try every opportunity to monetize everything they possibly could, every aspect of what they do with monetization. I've seen in my React content last year, I watched someone who apparently is supposed to be doing a heartfelt message to about something going on. They're crying on stream, and on top of the stream, there's ads running. Like, you can't turn that off for 5 seconds to do your heartfelt message to your audience, right? For me,
but hold on, Phil, because there are times where you say, look, hey, I really need, I'm in a really tough spot now. I got this coming up, and on the same screen, you have a tip tracker.
Which
it's
is the same
type of
Phil.
thing. Like you're tracking your revenue on the stream, and I don't have any problem with that. That's done by millions of streamers, but it's the idea of saying like, hey, I'm in a really tough spot right now. I really need you guys to help me out. And in your words, I'm going to be eating, lunch meat sandwiches, right? Like, what's wrong with lunch meat sandwiches sometimes?
There's nothing wrong with lunch meat sandwiches. I eat them a lot.
I could go for a lunch meat sandwich right now.
Delicious. No, I see what you're saying. For the tip tracker, that's really there for rewarding my audience. And I know that sounds weird. I would prefer not to track tips, because if I didn't have to track tips, I wouldn't have to count all stream. I could just kind of focus on what I'm doing with my audience. But there's incentives, there's rewards that they like. They like silly things I do on stream. They've come up with ideas, not me. They've come up with the idea that if I raise a certain amount on a stream, I put on a stupid hat or a vest. They
came up with that
shit
shit
to wear on a stream to look like an idiot, and I'm okay looking like an idiot.
You came up with that, Phil. No one else came up with that. You're the one who did.
They're supporting me. It's a way to give back. No, I hear what you're saying.
You viewed it as an easy way to make money, and you did it.
There's a tracker on the screen. Okay, big deal. I'm not going to sit there and talk about it constantly. If you watch a 4-hour stream I put out, yes, every once in a while, hey guys, it'd be great we get some more support on the stream or whatever today, and then we move on, right? And I'll hit it upon it a few times during the stream. Some people say I hit upon it way too much, and I understand that.
You do.
Everyone has different perspective on that. I agree that sometimes I do it too much. I'm trying to get better at that. But there's a difference between that, and you could tell that a stream is being done because someone is enjoying themselves and having a passion, or someone
which you don't do anyway, so that's not you anyway.
There's people out there that I feel like the only reason that they're in it is there's no passion, they don't love what they're doing. It's because they saw dollar signs and they
But
want
Phil-
to monetize as much
Dollar,
as
Sounds like
dollar.
projecting right now.
Yeah, but
being
Phil,
honest.
Phil, you just said a few minutes ago, and I mean this with all sincerity, man. You said just a few minutes ago, the reason why you still do this is because you can make more money than a 9-to-5 job, right? And
half
it's
of it, right?
right. So like that's a pretty
All
big
of it.
half, and I don't know, man. It doesn't seem. It seems like when you're asking your audience,
Seems
for
like
money
you're full of
consistently-
shit.
Look, Adam and I have both worked with people who like the worst thing you can do is look at your audience as a dollar, right? And
Yes.
and this is something that I don't have a whole lot of, I've left companies over this, right? And this is something that I don't agree with. But I would say that when money comes in and you reach a goal, let's say you reach a goal and you put on your vest or whatever, how are you taking that money and are you reinvesting it into your content? Are you reinvesting it into cameras? Are you
No.
doing special streams outside of
Hell nah.
just your day-to-day gameplay stuff? What value are you adding by people? I mean, I
Value?
get you have
You
to pay
don't know
bills. I get
Phil
it,
if you're
right?
talking value.
What value are you adding to your audience's experience to further that meaningful relationship that you're
You don't know me very well, do ye?
Yeah, we've had big goals. Like for example, if we hit a monthly members goal on YouTube, if we hit a sub goal,
Feasting with a king, dude.
Our normal routine gameplay, I do an interactive event with the viewers where we'll talk for a series of weeks. What do you guys want to see? Do you want to see a big React event? Do you want to see a special party atmosphere? We just did one a couple of weeks ago. It was a Super Bowl event. I'd never.
What
done
is
anything like
a
that.
React event? What does that mean? Is
It
it just
basically
you
means-
watching stuff or?
Well, React would be, for example, let's say there's a documentary, a long form documentary out there that people really want to see me react to. It's like 2 hours, right? But for me to react to it, it's going to take like 3-4 hours. Well, that's going to take a major chunk out of my normal schedule to do. People also don't want me to get backlogged on the games that I'm playing. But you hit that event. Now we're going to do special things. This big React event. It's separate from all my other content. A lot of times it's hyped up. We set special things around it that I normally wouldn't do. Yes, some of that money gets reinvested. I have a series. I know this sounds stupid. but
Reinvested
fans
my
love it.
ass.
It's called Feasting with the King. Basically, I order a meal and I eat a meal with my audience. They think it's funny because they think it's funny to see me eat. I look stupid. They say I look like I'm in pain when I eat. They like making fun of me, right?
When you
But
say
you're
the
still,
king,
you're still using the king moniker, I see.
right? The king of
correct.
hate.
Not the
Well,
king of hate. That's the thing.
It
There's
doesn't
left-
matter. You say the king, and that's what it was. So people are gonna make that connection.
You're 100% correct, and the thing is, I do need to try to fully phase it out. Feasting with the King and Ask the King are two leftover shows or events that I do that have the king in them.
You guys
Probably should
give
check
me
things out
money
with
and I
the
get to
name, but
eat
I do
on
have a streak that I've been
stream,
running for so long.
and you
Don't
guys
actually
get
push it.
nothing out. You get to
Don't
watch
change it.
me.
Love it.
You get
It's
to
been my
watch me
fans for so long.
eat.
Those are
Ain't
my
that a
true
great
fans. You guys are
reward?
haters,
Well, I
But
get
you're right. You're right. I agree there.
Phil, and you guys
But
pay
anyway,
for my
no.
food.
Yes, I try my best to reinvest. There was
Try my best to
well,
reinvest.
like I just said, doing something above and beyond.
I just
gonna
did
Well, that
order
less.
doesn't
a
cost
meal.
any money though. Doing another stream, reacting. That's just
Correct.
making you more money.
But correct, but then the ordering of a giant meal that normally I wouldn't order. I'm talking.
Yeah, he
ordering
doesn't. He
2
doesn't give a
hours,
crap
it's like
about his
DoorDash,
viewers. It's like
$50-$60.
if he's having fun, that's all that matters. He doesn't
It's
care
not
if his
budget
audience is
because,
having fun or anything.
we did the special event, and I know I hear what you're saying. What you're saying is, if you have these goals every day,
Hey, Ray,
there's
go
money.
back up.
Would you really like to know?
What?
Really want-
It's
I mean,
not. It's not. Honestly, it's not that we are asking. It's that
Mhm.
I feel like the people out there that have been supporting you, that now have turned against you because they feel you lied to them or you saw them as dollar signs, and that's
Which
all
he does.
that they were to you. Yeah, it's like
What's
I feel
there?
like they want to know most.
Well, then let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a minute, right?
Set up.
Well,
There
yeah,
was
that's what
a,
I said before. Brittany
you know,
Gates
you
has
went through
been telling him
bankruptcy,
for a long ass
right?
time that he
And
needs
that's
to
pretty
reinvent
public.
himself.
You went through bankruptcy,
And
there
it was
this,
only like right before this stream here that he did so. It took him
$5,000,
forever to do that, and he still
business
technically
expense
didn't
thing
do
has been
that.
talked about by
If
your
you
detractors
Google
quite a bit.
King of
They
Hate
say, what could
vlogs,
you
it's still
possibly
gonna
be spending
take you back to
$5,000 on? Look,
his
a month.
DSP
You are a
React
streamer
channel.
who streams by your own schedule, you're active 12 hours a day doing this, right? And
12
By your own
hours a
admission,
day,
you
my
said, like,
ass.
you didn't fix the set at all. It's been just a shoddy set for most of your over a decade of doing this.
right. So there's
I mean, honestly,
there's this whole, like what
like, all right, like, look at Adam's background. I don't really like Craig's background here that much because all it really is a game cabinet, arcade cabinet, and a skateboard. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of. But I kind of like Adam's background here. He's got like a shelf with some books. He has this back LED lighting on the sides here. He has the American flag, which Phil thinks is just a piece of cloth. He's got this really cool UFO lamp, which I really like that. That's really dope. He has a guitar, and he has his snowboard or is a skateboard deck. I'm not sure which one, with his logo on it. He has a good background. It's a lot better than fucking Phil's shit. And technically, even Craig's background is better than Phil's. It's a little more simplified, but still.
What do your business expenses look like? I mean, I've done this for a long time. The business expenses are your initial cost of setting up your camera, your lights, and that's about it. And then after that, it's your cost
Internet
is your
bill.
time. Yeah, is your time, right? And so walk me through.
I don't know. I think Phil's ego is so big. I don't think you could die, honestly.
$5,000 business expense every
Right.
month.
His
So
ego is so
what
bloated
is
and so
this?
big, it's
Okay,
it's
so
never
first
gonna
of all,
die. It's never
We're
gonna
talking
fully
about
go
things
away.
that came
It
out
was
public
probably
during
hurt
the
for sure, though.
bankruptcy, proceeding, correct? And I believe that the $5,000 a month number came off of I believe it's from a tax return. Is that correct? That it was filed or the data? I'm trying to remember exactly where it came from.
I don't know what
You
you're
guys
talking
probably know
about.
more than me because you've probably been
What
inundated with
$5,000
these
a month?
things while
I
I'm so
don't.
far removed from this.
I want to hear it from you.
I think again, I'm just.
I want to hear it
speculating.
from you.
I think what
motherfucker.
happened was when I filed for bankruptcy, a lot of information goes public, and so they look at a public filing. I guess there's certain information that's made public. I don't think it's all your tax returns. I think it's like 1 year's worth or something. And I guess there was a number that was thrown out there that it looks like Phil spends $5,000 a month on business expenses. Now, number one, I don't do my own taxes.
And that's because
I
he's a
have tax
pattern
guys who
player,
do it.
and
They
anyone
do it,
who's
okay?
remotely good at the game can
Here's
see
what I
the
can tell
pattern
you,
he's doing.
All right,
and
when I can tell you right now, 'cause I'm
counteract
working
that.
on it right now for this year. What are considered expenses?
I mean,
that
I'm not a
tax
fighting
attorney
game player,
wants
so
to
I don't know
you're
anything about
spending every
that. But
month?
like, if you're
Jeez,
a normal fighting game
your
player, you
mortgage,
can figure
because
that
if you
out
work from
pretty
home,
easily.
I guess that's part of it.
He's
I
not
don't
that
know.
good.
Again, I'm not a tax guy, but your cost of your mortgage, all of your utility.
He doesn't
bills
even
that
know what
apply
fucking
to
taxes
your
he
business.
pays. He doesn't know
Hold
anything
on.
like that.
Phil, you've been doing this for 17 years and you don't know what your
Thank
business
you.
expenses are. You don't know what you get tax write-offs on and stuff. I mean, like,
Specifically, no, I don't.
Oh my
I give
god!
that all. I pay him a lot of money to a tax guy. I have a giant.
But he could be ripping you off. He could be not writing everything off right, dummy.
It's different. I get to feel the tax laws change and stuff, and they figure it out. I give them all the data. In fact, just got an email from a tax guy the other day. He's like,
Hold on, we're having a little hiccup here again. Seems.
we still need this data for you for this year's tax filings. We need how much do you pay for utilities? What's your cost of internet this year? What's this? They need all that information, and I got to get them to, and then they do it. So, here's the thing. All right, everyone, we're really gonna get to the meat of it. Is this stupid WWE champions bullshit, which I cannot wait to talk about.
We'll get to that. But I want to
can't
stay
wait
on
to
this for a
talk
minute. I
about
want to
it.
stay on this for a minute. Like, just once again, walk me through this, because, like, I'm
Craig
trying to
is
put
getting
myself
fed up
in your
too.
shoes.
He's
I'm
like, what the fuck, man?
trying to
Craig,
think through
while
how-
you're piecing it together, building that up, I just want to remind you, Phil, like you said at the beginning of this stream, you want this to be where people can go to finally, like, oh, you just go watch that video, right?
Yes.
I don't have to say it anymore. So like
Correct.
this, you said, like, what do we want to know? This isn't for us. This is for the people out there that are like, what about the $5,000 a month? You know, so what about WWE champion, which we'll get into? Like, what about these things? So it's like, this is your chance to now say, all right, it was the freaking business expenses, whatever. I mean, it was the mortgage, it was this. I don't know if that's actually considered a tax write-off. I don't want you to get in trouble, but I don't know. It just feels.
No, and see, that's the thing. Again, when I went to that bankruptcy, oh my God, that was
I got to come
the
up with a
craziest
lie
thing
really
ever.
quick. Oh
Because
no.
my tax attorney, excuse me, not my tax attorney, I misspoke. My bankruptcy attorney had no idea what they were getting into with me being a public persona. And there were things you can do, I guess, to protect from online harassment, which they did. I tried to explain. They didn't really understand
Online
what it was or whatever.
combos.
And so when all that went public, that was the most drama-filled bankruptcy hearing ever. The judge was inundated with thousands of messages from my haters about stuff. But anyway, let me answer the question
Haters.
first, and then we can get to anything you want to talk about there. I would assume that the expenses are including everything that I do. Okay, that's related to the business, and that could include mortgage, any insurance that I'm paying that relates to the business.
Yeah, he's literally just
health
trying to write
insurance
every
and/or
fucking thing
medical
off.
costs, legal costs, and that what I'm talking about is my tax attorney, but also other attorney and things that I've been involved in over the years, which maybe we will get into that today, or maybe we won't. I really can't talk too much about certain.
God damn it. I don't know why my bitrate keeps like cycling up and down, up and down. Is it because I have too many things running at the same time, maybe? I haven't tried to set like around 5200 KB/s kilobytes per second, but
certain things. We'll get to that about identity theft and stuff. I know it's the first time I ever mentioned that, you guys. So, among other things, all the normal things in a month. Like I said, utilities and all of that. It adds it up. Here it is. Here's my tax return. All of a sudden, I'm being accused that was a lie or something. All right, here's what I can say, because I'm not going to sit here and go back to a 2010 tax return and say, here's what my accountant said or whatever.
Right.
This is from 2010. That's $5,000 a month.
Oh, excuse me. Did I say 2010? I meant 2020. That's totally my fault. I meant 2020. My bankruptcy was 2020. So I think the tax return that must be referenced is like 2019, something like that. Okay. Here's what I know. Because of the amount of trolling that happened to me, this judge that was involved in the bankruptcy hearing was attacked online with so much shit. I had to go into meeting after meeting with both my bankruptcy attorney and this judge. Hours of work. We went through line item by line item of all of my expenses. I had to explain to a judge who has no idea what live streaming is, the entire concept of being a live streamer, and showing every single expense and line item and rationalizing what it was to my business. This is this, right?
this is huge.
It took so much work. At the end of the day, after all that extra work and time and money that had to be put into my bankruptcy,
Money,
the
okay.
judge understood. I showed them everything. If anyone should see line item by line item what my business expenses are, it should probably be the judge who's going to make a ruling on if I should be granted.
Which you still probably didn't even do anyway, because this is all bullshit.
They went through all of it, and at the end of the day,
Did they
said,
really?
This all makes sense.
I don't know.
Approved.
Well, but in the vast majority of time, winners in bankruptcy experience like some sort of relief, right? Whatever the debt is that you were paying, it's gone, right? So
Yeah, it
why
was a
do you
win
feel,
compared to him.
Why
He
do you have
was
to go
saying
back
it was
to
a win.
going back to your audience, and ask your audience to crowdfund your content when you claim and you still say that nothing has really changed financially for you?
Great question. Thank you for asking it, because this is one of the ones I get hit with every day. We just talked about 2021 and what happened with Twitch. Okay, so the bankruptcy goes through around mid to late 2020. I'm relieved of all this revolving debt that I had.
Yeah, see, he's starting to get more and more nervous now. He's shaking a lot. He's shaking his knee a lot.
Taxes is a big thing because for
You can
years
see it
there,
in
I was
his
not able to
face.
pay my federal taxes properly, and
Well,
it came back to bite me.
you couldn't pay them, or you didn't prepare to pay them properly. There's a difference. Because
I thought you hold on. I thought you said that you paid a guy to do your.
Nope, he didn't, and he didn't even reveal his
Correct.
PayPal information,
File the taxes.
which is what he uses for most of
I
his
think
shit.
the one thing that people need
They
to
would've
understand is that
seen
you are acting as an independent
all the WWE
contractor with
champion shit
YouTube
if he
and
showed his
Twitch
PayPal.
and whoever, right? So when you're paid, when somebody gives you $1 super chat, YouTube takes 30% of that, right? And so you get 70%. That 70% then needs to be taxed by.
Look at him just shaking
Uncle
his head
Sam.
all the
Uncle
time.
Sam comes in and they take however much of that.
I'm a
so you know,
bobblehead.
by the end of it, you could be getting anywhere between 50 cents of that or 35 cents of that, depending on what your revenue is for the year, and you're the tax brackets you're in. It sounds like, Phil, that you didn't necessarily plan accordingly for that, and you didn't save your money to ultimately pay. And if you have a tax person to do this, a CPA, which is for any online creator, that's like the number one expense is having a CPA to do your taxes. That's the number one thing, because going through and that's extremely important. But your tax, like, has your tax person ever came to you and said, hey, you should probably prepay your taxes. You should be paying quarterly instead of having one big lump sum at the end of the year? Because it seems really irresponsible for somebody.
And like the problem here is that like he's talking about two different tax attorneys, but they don't know that. He doesn't specify that he's talking about the one tax attorney in Connecticut that supposedly fucked him over, right? And then there's the other tax attorney, which is his current one, and he doesn't specify the difference to them. So they're all fucking confused that there's two different tax attorneys. He's talking to like there's only one.
Who works online and has done so for 17 years to have a tax person who hasn't suggested that and haven't had you prepaid.
Do not please that my tax guy is great.
See right there.
Okay.
He I have an estimate of what I should be paying, not even quarterly, monthly. Like basically, can I make this monthly payment? And some months I can easily make it no problem, and other months I can't. I have to pay less.
If you stop playing WW Champions, you could easily make it no problem.
Income is based off of your tax for that month is based, and your quarter and your year is based off of the revenue that you're making that month. So if you make $10,000 that month, then you're going to be, then you prepay whatever, $2,000 in taxes, whatever, however much it is, right? So the money is already in your account. So why would you have trouble spending? Why would you have trouble with that? I'm really having a hard time following this, because if you have the money, it's either being spent before it's time to pay taxes, or I don't know. I don't know. Please walk me through it.
Whew, okay. So I have two revenue streams.
Well, let me tell you.
One revenue stream is very much daily income that I get from my viewers.
I guess you need
like tips,
more
let's say.
context.
Okay, pretty much tips on a stream. The other revenue stream is the other income that I get from YouTube. That's ad revenue.
For me to tell you that, I got to tell you 5 other stories.
Daily, I get tips.
Put it in proper context.
And that essentially is the money that I'm using day
Then he wonders why no one actually cares about the context of it.
Go grocery shopping. Buy a new game for the stream coming up.
Buy a new game, dude.
The YouTube money that comes in behind the scenes is what I use to do all my ongoing recurring payments, my mortgage, my car, health insurance payment, or whatever. Here's what's happened, okay? The bankruptcy happens. Great. End of 2020, things are looking up. I'm actually getting more popular on Twitch. I'm starting to make good money. I announced to my audience.
Oh, it's all our fault. It's always our fault, huh?
Light at the end of the tunnel. You guys are supporting me so much. The bankruptcy went through. It's looking like if you keep this going this year, not only for the first year in many years, because now the bankruptcy's over with, now I can pay all my taxes properly for the first time in a long time.
I declare bankruptcy.
I couldn't do it. It was my fault. I was in financial ruin. All right, 2021 things are
financial ruin.
And then what happens? They get me kicked out of the Twitch partner program. They shut down other revenue streams for me that I can't really talk about. Later on that year, identity theft, which we might or might not get to today. I don't know if we'll talk about that. That's a huge one. Identity
you clearly
theft,
want to talk about it.
And we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, it cost me so much money to fix the identity theft thing. So now I went from I'm good to, I immediately have lost a revenue stream from Twitch. I have to go to YouTube. I'm making way less money on YouTube now. Immediate to theft, which we might my taxes. Our audience in early 2021. Hey guys, guess what? There's a light at the end of the tunnel. You guys are supporting me so much. The bankruptcy went through. It's looking like if you keep this going this year, not only for the first year in many years, because now the bankruptcy's over with, now I can pay all my taxes properly for the first time in a long time. Because, my problem is you have that much debt and everything. You can't, I couldn't do it. It was my fault. I was in financial ruin. All right, 2021, things are looking up. And then what happens? They get me kicked out of the Twitch partner program. They shut down other revenue streams for me that I can't really talk about. Later on that year, identity theft, which we might or might not get to today. I don't know if we'll talk about that. That's a huge one. Identity
you clearly
theft,
want to talk about it.
Identity theft, even though no one took any money out of your accounts whatsoever. And then you're going to further. I'm getting ahead of myself, but you're going to deny that it was your own fucking bank leaks. Those were your fucking bank leaks, Phil. We lined them up perfectly. Those are fucking
We'll
yours,
get there.
and
We'll
no
get
one
there.
took any
It
money
cost
out
me
of
so
it.
much money to fix the identity theft.
Okay, so much
now
money.
I went from,
You don't
"I'm
have to
good,"
spend anything to
"Oh,
fix
I
that.
immediately have
Like,
lost the revenue."
literally, all he had to do was call his bank, and they would have changed the information or whatever, so that they can't continue to look at it. It doesn't cost any money to
Stream
fix
for
that.
Twitch. I have to go
You
to
don't need
YouTube.
a
I'm
lawyer to
making
fix
way
that
less
shit.
money on YouTube now than I was on Twitch. All that money that was going to make everything even, I'm good to go
Nope.
now, is gone again. I'm way reduced income again. So you're right. The taxes adjust now. What? Nothing else adjusted. My mortgage still exists. My car still exists. All those regular expenses still exist. And now I'm
You
making
should have
way
paid
less.
your car off years
So,
ago, Phil,
Here, this is a running pattern, and I
because you
hate
easily
this shit.
could have with the money you were
Every
making.
time in life, I feel like I'm getting ahead. Something happens and screws
They'll
me over.
pull
I'm
me
serious.
back
It's like a comedy of errors. It's
But once again,
ridiculous.
Phil, then why not remove all that shit and just
It's almost like karma is adjusting to him, right? So he has the devil's luck and he can slide out of any repercussions, but at the same time, partly because of his own stubbornness and partly because it's karma, it has to like balance it a bit. So it'll be like, yeah, sure, he has the devil's luck, he can slide out of most of these situations unscathed relatively, right? But on the other hand, it's like, oh, this happened, now this happened, now this happened, because it all has to equal out and balance itself. So that's kind of what it seems like.
just do something different? I'm not telling you what to do, but like if you keep
I'm
running
not
in,
saying
if
you should
keep
get a
running
real
into
job,
wall,
but
eventually
maybe
you,
you
need to take
should get a
step
real
in different
fucking
direction,
job.
right? And like I love that you love what you're doing right now, but if you're still struggling with this so immensely, at a certain point, don't you need to like self-reflect and say like, look, man, I'm running into this wall fucking 5 times. I should probably not be doing this or change my approach to it.
I hear you. And like I said, I had that conversation with my mom in 2019.
The conversation
about
with my
changing
my mom. I mean, my wife. I mean,
life. I mean, yeah. Let's be honest. A major factor is money. Have to be honest here, right? That's what this is about. I'm
Money.
going to be transparent.
Major factor. It
we
sounds like
got
it is the
to
factor.
have
I mean,
money.
it sounds like you're just spending the money as it coming in instead of saving and preparing for the next month.
Phil, what's
where
a
it
rainy
might not
day
be
fund?
as profitable, so that you could be like, I'm saving. Maybe I'm not gonna buy that new game. Maybe even though it's probably a write-off because you're doing it for a business, doesn't matter.
Right.
It seems like you just gotta start saving money. Maybe be a little smarter for the future. I mean, I'm not trying to like lecture you.
No,
on
you're
money,
right.
but
You
it
were
seems
right.
like it seems like you need it. So
Yeah, I need what I need, and I've said this before. I'll just say that
Sure, Phil.
I need like a
Sure,
year.
Phil,
And
sure.
Here's what I mean by that.
Sure, Phil.
I need 1 year to make content.
This shit again? Fuck
Do
you.
not have my trolls fuck with my income.
it's
They
never gonna
ever-
happen.
I agree.
Never gonna
I now
happen.
agree with you. I know that now.
Never.
That's what's happened. Is every
And some trolls did, Phil. There were quite a few trolls. Like, I know Blooper's been gone for a whole year. I know Shinko went, like, what, a couple months at least. Like, I think it was like 2 or 3 months without talking about you. Quite a few trolls, like, have gone months and sometimes some of them years without talking about you. You're still in this situation. And no, it's not all our fault. We're not constantly reporting you to every fucking platform out there, dummy. It's all you.
something happens that screws my income again. Well, wait. Here we go. I worked my ass off. I changed who I am. I'm a
Works
different
my
kind of
ass
content
off.
creator. All the
Yeah,
things that they
okay.
had issue with me. This is why they do it to me, right there. We don't like Phil for this. Okay, I'll change all of that.
You
Nope,
didn't
still
change
do it
shit.
Anyway, ruin his income.
So why
No.
change? Why change? What's the point?
Yeah.
It's not doing anything. Why wouldn't you just stay the person that you were and that you are, or whatever, instead of like trying to like adhere to people on the internet? Because the people on the internet are gonna hate. The haters are gonna hate. Like, who fucking cares? So what's
Good
the point?
Adam.
You're doing
Well,
it for nothing.
Just go
I
over to
agree- I understand what you're
cozy.tv
saying.
or
At the
whatever.
same
Just
time, I
be
feel
the
like
same
lot of
asshole you
changes have
are.
Been very productive. I like I said, now I love what I do for a living. I didn't before. I do now. I actually genuinely want to be here every day. With my
All right. I think I'm gonna call it now. That seems like a good stopping point. I was trying to find a decent stopping point. We're about an hour and 46 minutes into it, so I'm gonna leave it there. eventually I'm gonna go over through the whole thing, obviously. So I'll try to remember where I am and pick up here next time I do stream this, because I do want to get the whole thing done. I did already go so when it first happened, I already went over the his response to the aftermath of the video. So like when that first happened, I didn't go over the interview at all, but I went over him reacting to the next day when they were doing their decompression stream and him freaking out. I reacted to all of that. So, but I never reacted to the actual interview itself. Yeah, and I'll be on Taking L's channel this Saturday at 11 a.m. And me and him are going to be Logan are going to be going over. Well, I'm not going to spoil it, but we're going to be going over something. So be sure to check that out too. And if you're not subscribed to Taking L's channel, because they're awesome. But yeah, thank you for everyone who was in the chat with me. Thank you for everyone who stopped by and took a look and watched with me this mess of an interview that it is. That changed Detractor history, dude. And hopefully you have a great rest of the week. And I'll see you the next time.